That sounds right. Yeah, it's just like they just started going crazy. They're just like, yeah, Cobra Commander's back, and he's like a man again.
Yeah, of course.
No explanation needed. Also, everything looks way more cartoony, which is amazing for something that was originally a cartoon.
Funny how that works.
Anyway, Aaron, are we ready?
Oh yeah, we could. Yeah, the show started like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, do you want to do like an introduction and whatnot?
The show did not start.
Well,
Dream may have started, but this is not the show.
Hey, we're human beings talking to each other, and we're talking about. No, I'm kidding. This is Gameenthus podcast episode 374. I'm Aaron, one of the hosts here. Tiny is also here.
So then Ant-Man jumps up Thanos' butt
and expands. Roll credits.
All right, well, it's been nice, guys. I got some other stuff to do, so my dad will be talking to you, Dave, and
That's a wrap. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mike is here. You can't see him, but he is here.
I'm not going to speculate what's going to happen in a movie that I don't have tickets for yet, and apparently I won't be able to see for at least, I don't know,
a week.
You don't have tickets for it? What kind of fan
I
are
don't
you?
care. I haven't even seen Captain Marvel yet, and I'm like, whatever. It's like if
what have you
someone
been doing?
promised me that I would not be spoiled anything, I'd be like, all right, great. I'll watch it when it comes out on video. I don't care.
But you know the show.
Yeah. Whatever.
If
Also,
we recorded tomorrow, I would go to an early enough showing to be like, guys, this is what happened.
Yeah. Fair enough.
They went through spy school and became spies. Anyway, enough about us. We have a special guest this week. Peggy is joining us. Hey, Peggy.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. I'll introduce myself now because that was the prompt. I'm Peggy, also known as
pressure.
Morai. I in-game observe a lot of Overwatch. If you have watched produced / in-game observed. If you've watched Contenders Korea, North American Open Division, Europe Open Division, Contenders China, Contenders South America, and a whole bunch of other tier 2, tier 3 stuff. One time tier 1, that was great. But yeah, majority tier 2, tier 3 stuff. I might have more than likely have had a shot or a hand in it in some way, shape, or form. And currently I am the head of production for ELO Hell.
All right, you sound pretty busy.
It's really busy. It's really busy. It's like I also have a full-time gig on top of this as well. So it's like the 9 to 5, come home, then it's the 6 to 2 a.m. and then rinse and repeat. It's all fun.
All right, a labor of love.
I'm not doing that.
Absolutely. I know many people who don't, and you know what? More power to you. But it's a lot of fun either way. It's
what you want to do with your time and your life.
Absolutely.
And I take it from your hat that you are and everything you just said, you are an Overwatch fan.
I am. I'm a huge Overwatch fan. Been playing since the beta. I actually played. It's funny because I used to play on console, and then I got a PC. I want to say 3 years ago at this point, like right after I got my first paycheck for my first full-time gig. That's what I spent it on because I didn't have to pay loans yet. So with that, I did that. But beforehand, I literally played the beta up until I absolutely had to put it down, and that was because they took the internet modem from my college room because it was graduation that day, and that was when like they were packing everything up. So like I love the game. The game is absolutely fantastic.
I thought you were exaggerating. Like,
no,
I played it a lot. They forcibly removed me from the
building.
building.
They literally had to pry it out of my. Well, I wasn't dead, but they literally had to pry it out of my hands for me to go to graduation. Is how that worked.
Okay, and had you? I guess what game were you really into prior to that? That scratched the same itch.
Yeah, prior to that, it would probably have been Call of Duty's, FPSs in general.
Okay.
Were definitely my thing. Nowadays, it's still, FPSs. I do a couple MMOs, but for the most part, it's just, it's a lot of Overwatch. It's a lot of Overwatch. Okay, cool. I have not kept up with my Overwatch lore, unfortunately. So it's okay. No one has.
I feel
it's funny because they don't have lore. That was the joke. That was the joke.
Oh, yeah. I thought they did.
I thought they did.
I mean, they do, but they don't. It'd be nice if they had more. Is kind of the big overarching storyline when it comes to the Overwatch community.
That's like the issue of like.
Yes.
Where's the lore? Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That. So I guess how did you get into all? Like, I mean, you had affinity for the game. So what was the story between you liked the game, the beta was great, and then how did it get into doing what you do with esports and everything else?
Yeah, so basically, when I was in college, I was a journalism and radio, television, film production double major. So double majored in both. This is why I'm not on camera. But from
Neither
there,
are we.
I went. You know what? Fair game. But yeah, so I did a lot of sports broadcast, mainly doing tech, like behind the scenes, and camera operating. And so when I saw my first esports, if I saw my first game, which was Halo at the time, and I saw that someone was like operating the camera and doing all, I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't know how to get into it, but it's cool. And then 2 years later, I found an org that was like, hey, we'll teach you all the stuff, Broadcast GG. And I was like, all right, sold, done.
That's cool.
Yep. And from there, I went from them over to Elo Hell. And now I just do it all the time. Now I just observe whenever I have the chance.
So during the training, what was the most challenging thing, and what came easier than you thought it would?
What came easier was definitely the camera work in general is very similar to sports broadcasting. And I literally was up at 2 a.m. 2 days ago, like tweeting out, like, I want to write this paper because there's just so much similarities between sports broadcasting and esports broadcasting, mainly because the people that are in esports have backgrounds in sports production. Like, that's just kind of how it goes. So like the easier part, or the stuff that came a little bit easier, was definitely the camera work. The camera work and the free cam itself. Specifically, once you get a controller for said camera work, which is like all the free floating shots that you see, that kind of either establishes a fight or is at the end of a fight because everything's going down. You're just like, I need to hit a wide shot because I don't know what's going on here. Neither will the audience. So, you use a literal controller to do that. And
they do have all that stuff integrated, don't they? That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. 100%. You can hot swap between a mouse and keyboard and the controller, which is what you should be doing when you're in-game observing. So that was definitely the top part. I think this was the more challenging part, but I know it's something that a lot of producers tend to stumble on if they weren't traditionally trained in sports broadcasting or just television production in general, which is the communication. Like, yes, you don't hear my voice, you don't see me during these productions. You'll know who I am though if I do something wrong, but that's a different story. But
that never happens, so you're good.
Depends. I like the enthusiasm. So the thing is, you're still the back line, you're still the support line, you're still the entire studio in the back. Literally the thing that I'm sitting in right now, like, that's my entire studio. I have a soundboard, I have a switcher, everything is broadcast, but you still need to tell your casters and anyone else involved in talent. Yeah, that's close enough. You still got to tell your casters and just the talent in general what you're doing, and who you're on right now and that sort of thing. So communication is probably the hardest thing for in-game observers to master, because I don't think everyone realizes, like, hey, you need to talk, you need to go with your casters. So you're like, oh, I'm on the Widowmaker, I'm on the Tracer, we're going to you in 5, 4, 3, 2, all of that needs to be communicated. And that's something I think is hard for a lot of observers, especially starting out, to really understand that you need to talk. You're not going to be heard, but you still need to talk.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Any questions? I got you. Don't worry about it.
I just had to think, like, you're not going to be heard, but you need to talk.
Well, yeah, because it's just like you have like one of those FBI earpieces in your ear, that a lot of casters have in. Are they still called casters in sports? It's been a while, but like the talent has in sports, where like
Mike watches sports, he would know. I don't know.
That anyone has who is talent in anything, that singers, for example, have like lyrics played back to them or like told to them in their ear during a concert or something like that. Yeah, so it's the exact same thing. I'm telling the casters the script. I'm telling them what they're going to next. So you're throwing to break. You're talking about this team. You're talking about the other team. Like, it's very similar to what you'd have in sports broadcasting, and just in general. Like, I am talking way more than you think I am. You just don't hear it.
Gotcha. Because it all makes for a better production, because
absolutely
everybody knows what's going on.
Specifically when you're just, the more communication from an in-game observer, the better. And the more flawless things are. Because if I'm just telling excuse me, if I just hit the screen and you just see the caster sitting around, just kind of looking around, not knowing what they're doing, it's because their observer didn't tell them they were live, and that's a no-no. So it's all of that put
I do
into
that to
one.
these guys all the time. We've been live for an hour.
Live now?
You
Live,
did.
yeah.
They all heard you. What? All right. So,
Oh, no, I don't hot mic. I haven't hot mic'd more than twice.
that's probably for
Twice.
the best.
It is. It is.
Makes for some good Ron Burgundy style moments, though.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, we'll just do it live. Yeah. Oh, no, wait, that's not Ron Parker. Anyway, yes.
Well, not exactly.
That's someone else. Oh
Moving
boy.
Moving on.
But if you put something in front of his face on the teleprompter, he will
He
read
will
it.
read it.
He
Yeah.
has to read it. Yeah. Something San Diego.
Yeah. Stay classy, San Diego. There
Stay
you go.
classy. Here we go. So when you're not doing all these things and doing the 9 to 5, I guess, what do you like to do?
Is there anything else?
Is there? You tell me. No, there really isn't. When it comes to,
I understand that. What you've described would take up a lot of time.
I mean, like, if we're talking about like stuff to like wind down, like to disconnect, I play a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. I play a
Really?
lot of Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah, I like championed out already, and I'm at like 150 CP, which isn't even that high. But like, I also moved from PS4 playing there to like level like 45 or something, and then going straight into PC. Can't migrate anything, so I had to start from scratch. I did the same exact thing, and I think I
Wow.
finished the storyline for the All-Merry Dominion and for most of the Daggerfall Covenant, and I'm gonna go on to the Ebonheart Pact soon, mostly because I hadn't played the Daggerfall Covenant when I was on the PS4, so I was like, all right, well, I'll just kind of switch them up because you can kind of hot swap which ones you're doing. You can play them all at once, really. It's a big storyline thing, but yeah. So going from one faction to the other and just keep on going is a lot of fun, and it's definitely the thing I go to. It's like I don't want it today, and it's just like, all right, I'll reset with that game.
So Elder Scrolls to you is like Pokemon Snap to Tiny then.
That sounds about right.
All right, cool. Okay. I'm just making analogies here.
Why did we have to bring Snap into this?
You would have done it anyway because you love that game. So
Yeah.
it's
The
going to
game's
come up
awesome.
regardless. It is quite good. It is quite good. Have you played, what is it, Blades, the mobile game?
I don't want to.
I've
I've heard a lot of things, and it's just like, you know what? I'm gonna stick around and wait for the Elsewhere, the Khajiit pack, basically. That DLC is coming out in a couple of weeks, I think, in June,
Mhm.
I believe, somewhere around there in the summer. Let's go with that.
You get to
So
be a cat person, yay!
you can already be a Khajiit, thank you, but you haven't seen their homeland anywhere. So like, this
Gotta
is
see
the part
their
where you get to
homeland.
see their homeland. Yeah, and apparently some dumb idiot decides to release dragons into the world because of course they did, and yeah, that's Elsewhere. That's all you need to know. There you go. I saved you like $20 on the DLC.
Oh, that's like a scripted thing, not
Yes.
like a player decided to
No.
destroy.
They did. They
Whatever.
actually had like a
Intentional.
prologue teaser thing that was released a couple days ago, or I guess a couple weeks ago at this point. But yeah, it was basically like, oh, you need to help this guy save the world. Oh no, you could have destroyed the world, but we're just gonna settle for these literal dragons coming out of nowhere after thousands of years of being asleep, and you just release them on the new land in the DLC. Congratulations. It's like, oh, great.
Gotta
Have something.
Yeah.
There's always something.
Arrow to the knee, dragons. I mean, something has to happen. So.
I did not remember that stupid arrow to the knee thing until
Oh, unlucky.
Ben mentioned it like on the last Bombcast or the one before, and I was just like,
Yeah, I hadn't thought about
oh
it in
my
a long
goodness.
It's an
I-
old meme now.
time. It
Wow.
really is.
Yeah.
Are you saying we're getting old?
No. I'm saying the meme is old.
Oh.
I played
okay.
Skyrim.
We have-
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because Skyrim just
But-
came out to me.
See, I couldn't even remember if it was Skyrim or Oblivion that it was from.
Oh, it's Skyrim.
Oh, it's
Don't worry.
Skyrim.
I
Come
never
on.
played Oblivion, to be honest.
I
My first
never
game
really
in Elder
played it
Scrolls
either.
I played was Skyrim, and I played about 600 hours of it. And that it was a lot of Skyrim. It was a lot of Skyrim.
600 hours.
Fun fact, actually, I got through the Imperial side like that entire Civil War. I was like, oh, that's totally all of the major storylines in the game. I'm gonna go do the other one and then finish. And then I realized that there was literally like, geez, 7 other major storylines, something like that. It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that Skyrim was as massive as it was. I just thought it was the main Save the World storyline, and that was it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Oh no, I just thought it was the Civil War. I didn't even know about the dragons. I went past that. I was like, oh, there's a dragon attacking me. That's nice. And then left.
What is he yelling?
I feel like the dragon thing's kind of a big deal at the beginning of that game.
Yeah, and like,
Just a
and
little
when you
bit.
get into Whiterun, you hear the
Something about-
Fos Roda or Dovahkiin. I'm like, cool. I'm going this way. And that was it.
Like-
Super Nintendo just said Skyrim just came out on something. Rumor has it they got it running on Zoom. You have one button in the center, dude.
No.
You can do
Depending
that.
on how much you hold it, like that's what you do. Well, let's not give them ideas, shall we?
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me that there were games on the Zune.
They tried. They
Oh
Yeah, I had poker, I think. Something
some
like that.
shoot 'em up
Huh.
kind of thing too. Yeah, the Zoom. I remember it was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Volume 2. I mean Volume 2. I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. It was a nice little weird
Yeah,
things like
poker.
the Zoom. Yeah,
They call it the Zoom.
it was so obscure. Well, Peggy, anything else you want to mention, like anecdote wise?
When is this coming out, by the way? Probably should have asked that first. But is this the thing? Because if so, this weekend is Open Division North America playoffs. So all the big stuff is happening. Even tomorrow, well, I guess tomorrow at the moment. No, sorry, 2 days from now. It's right. Yes, I
Yeah,
know what I'm saying.
Friday the
Um,
26th.
Thursday the
Thursday.
25th.
Okay.
Thursday the 25th, there is the only 2 teams in Open Division that are 10-0 are going up against each other. So they've all played 10 games each, and these 2 are the only ones that are undefeated out of like 400, 500 teams around there, possibly 4 to 5, let's say.
It's a lot of teams.
Yeah, and these are the only 2 that are undefeated. It's Triumphant Inked, and it's going to be one heck of a game. We're doing it live at 8 p.m. ET on Thursday. So if you have any chances, absolutely check that out. And then on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are the Open Division playoffs, and I will be your in-game observer. So I will be your eye in the sky and in the characters as well.
Well, after all that, I regret to say that I've been feeling less pressure to get these out on Friday, so it probably
Unlucky.
won't come out till like Sunday or Monday. But it is live
what?
now.
Yeah, it's fine.
And if
You can catch VODs. It's good.
and if you tweet it out, which you know,
Yes.
I'll be happy to retweet it to the 8 people who follow me.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll be more than happy. It's just I feel out of pressure. I get it on Friday, but then late I'm just like I'm tired. I just get to it. I get to it. You know, I don't know.
That's fair.
It
That's fair.
happens. But I'm just being honest with you. You know.
Oh, you know what? I appreciate it.
You know what it is though. Friday is my 12-year-old turns 13 on Friday.
Oh,
So
congratulations. Happy
no-
birthday to her.
Well, thank you. Normally I would do it, but we're gonna go to her awards assembly because I think I'm sure she got like at least a 4-point something. So we'll do
Nice.
that, and then she always asks, can I leave early? And this time we're like, it's your birthday, so yeah, we're gonna take you out of school and do something dumb. I don't know. So
That's a pog champ where I come from.
all right, Mike, what have you been up to?
Yeah, not a ton. Work is getting busy, which means I'm going to be less available. But for now, I'm kind of
Boo.
I'm keeping my head above water. But like, yeah, I worked over the weekend, and then Easter came along on Sunday, and we didn't really have any like concrete plans. And for the first time ever, my Easter wound up being just me and my wife, and we didn't go to my folks, we didn't go to her folks, we just went to mass. And then
People
I
kept banging
started-
on the door, and you just ignored them. I understand.
I started cleaning up the yard, getting ready for summer. I mean, it was actually pretty great.
They don't listen to the show, do they? I know.
No, I don't think there's any. No, there's no chance.
There's no chance of that happening.
No, but it wasn't because it was like their clan. Like it just wasn't. There wasn't nothing.
There were no official plans made.
There were no official plans this year, so it was
I understand. It was the same for us as well. We just came home with just the four of us, and we made dinner and enjoyed it, and that was it. Play some Street Fighter Exceed like you do on Easter, and there you go.
I may have watched some Game of Thrones or something that really fit the Easter theme, because
the sex and the brutality. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So and speaking of, I have been trying. I mean, I don't know how likely it is we're gonna catch up to live before this new season is over, but that's kind of the goal, to try to be like, all right, let's get there for the final thing, because everybody's going to be talking about it, just like they have been for the first couple of episodes. But I'm working on season 5 right now, getting close to the end of that, so got a lot of episodes to watch yet to catch up, but seeing it. But now that I've seen more and more of the show, the more of it that I watch, the more I can't help but think about the Game of Thrones ballpark nights that are becoming so prevalent. Not just in the minor leagues, in the major leagues. There are Game of Thrones themed nights. Like, come on! And I'm thinking, what are they... They're just like, the poster might as well just say, come dressed up as your favorite racist, or rapist, or sadist,
murderer,
other horrific abomination, because there's nothing else in the show.
Why be exclusive? Like, it's not one or the other.
You know what, Mike? They know their audience. I don't.
But that's what I mean. Like ballparks of all levels, at least try to encourage family-friendly everything, and then they're just like, introduce your 8-year-old to anything from this show. No, why would you ever encourage that? There is not a single wholesome moment in this entire show.
Peggy, do you watch Game of Thrones?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
There's no other Peggy in this room, right? Not I.
Not with that attitude.
I can't. Not gonna lie, I literally can't. Like, all my family watches it, and they watch it, but like I get so anxious about that show, and I'm pretty sure it's just because of like the sound design is so good that it's just it freaks me out, man. I don't know. I can't watch it.
Actually, I do think of, like, when I do watch the episodes, like, even the like quiet moments, the sound effects for like the clothes and the boots and stuff, like, there's so much thought put into this. It really,
it's incredible.
Kind of boggles the mind. Yeah,
it's incredible. It should get the awards that it gets, but like, please just stop the sound of the fire flicking. Like, I know it's super hyper realistic, but like, it freaks me out, man.
Too much. I understand.
Yeah, I just want to know what happens in the TV show specifically. Like, I'll read the spoilers, I'll see all the gifs, but I will not watch it.
I guess I just want to know if Peter Dinklage's character survived. That's all. That's the only thing I want. It's just his character.
I need to look out for my girls Sansa and Arya, and that's it. That's all I need to know. And at least one dog. Let one dog live. I'm done.
Yeah, I watched the first 3 episodes and I liked it. I just kind of got lost.
Are you still holding out hope that Ned
Stark is going to be the hero of this story?
Wait a minute. Well,
Ned Flanders Stark.
Okay, are you
really
telling me that Sean Bean dies in something that he starred in? I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
That's a urban legend or whatever.
Well, what has he lived in that he's been in?
You know what? I'm literally putting up an article that's like the time Sean Bean lives.
Yeah, you bet.
I think it was on Polygon or whatever.
All the way Jay just said that Game of Thrones is so boring, to be honest. So she's not a fan.
I mean,
and then she just backwards that Sean Bean is supposed to die in everything he's made that his thing. Thank you, Jay.
That's actually a good one. Percy Jackson in the Olympians. He's he's Zeus. He does not die in that movie. National Treasure. He doesn't die in that movie.
He was a National Treasure.
He's the bad guy in National Treasure.
I didn't like those movies. I'd rather just watch Indiana. Like, why like the fake Indiana Jones in this? Like, just
because I've already watched Indiana Jones and I wanted more
watch
of
it again, my friend.
He's in apparently
that's what
both
wine
Silent
buttons
Hill
are for.
movies. So I
Silent Hill.
didn't see the Silent Hill movies.
No.
But
I saw
apparently he
neither
did
of them. Yeah, that's.
both. So, but he lives through those.
Does he?
So,
Isn't he the Hill? I mean, I don't.
Apparently, like, my dad was watching some of this stuff that he was getting from Netflix, but there was like a really long running, I don't know if it was a series or a series of movies called The Sharps, and he's like the main character in that, and it spanned like 20 years because they just kept making them. It's like a British thing or something, but I watched a little bit of it. It seemed okay.
All right.
I don't think he died as far as I know, but I didn't like watch to the end. For all I know, they're making another one. But anyway, yeah, like I haven't really been doing a whole lot else, so yeah. Tiny,
yo,
what have you been doing?
Speak on things.
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot like since we recorded the show last week. What is Saturday in Easter? I forget. Like Holy Saturday.
Holy Saturday?
Yeah, it's Holy Saturday.
Good Friday, Holy Saturday.
So, good, yeah.
Wait. Mass and benediction, right? That's it.
Well, no. So okay, I went to Easter Vigil as really for my mother. So I went to Easter Vigil. That was almost. Once you exceed 2 hours of mass, it becomes 3 hours of mass. I don't care how long you're there for.
Yep.
What if it's 12 hours? Is it still only 3 hours?
Well, no. If it's so, my sister. This is something that's been introduced into my immediate family, at least, since once we got into our late 20s, early 30s. My sister counts in whole years. She is 14 months younger than me, but for the 6 weeks between her birthday and my birthday.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I am 2 years older than her.
Sure.
Instead of 1.
That's right.
No, it's not. It's 14 months.
What?
No,
It's
right.
It does not
significant.
acknowledge anything other than the year.
Cool. If we're gonna round, it's round down at that point. It's not greater than 5. So, anyway, it doesn't matter.
What?
Oh yes, kind of. I did get a haircut today. Sorry, I was looking at chat.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, we went to Easter Vigil. No one accidentally lit the church on fire this year, so that was
that happened in the past.
Hey!
Yeah, considering what happened in France, I'd say that's a positive thing.
well.
It's a
So
positive
okay,
thing anyway.
so
Too soon,
So
Mike. Too soon.
this is a Catholic thing. And so
burning
Easter
down
Vigil-
churches.
No, Easter Vigil starts with a fire outside the church. Like all the lights in the church are turned down, and it starts with a fire outside, and everyone has candles. And like once they do the opening, all the candles get lit, and then there's a procession into the church.
I did one of those once. I didn't realize that was the one I was going to, and I was like,
"What is going on?"
What? Yeah, funny enough story. There's a CAG.
There was a fire at yours. Too.
No, there's a CAG related thing in this. This was back in like 07 or 8 or something like that.
Back in the
Not any of us, but there was a guy that was not. We never met. None of the rest of you ever met him. But he was a pastor.
Okay, does this person exist?
There was a guy.
There
He
was
was
a guy.
promise
Will.
you
He was.
existed.
This is actually Will. It's the same guy. This guy was a pastor, and he
Okay.
would occasionally like post in that.
Wait,
deep
Aaron's Will?
thread. What's that?
Wait, Aaron's Will?
No, I was making a joke that this guy also exists,
I'm
just
joking.
like Will does.
You
No.
know, it's funny. Will was an ordained anyway, but yeah, Will's
Oh,
done
so it
everything.
actually is this
It
guy.
could have been Will.
I mean,
So
I
so
was an
the deal
ordained
was,
minister, so
this
There you
guy
go.
was gonna take that HD tube TV off my hands, not the massive one that I got later, but the first one I got. And
Yes.
I thought I was going to a 1-hour service.
That's what you
I
signed
said,
up
I'll
for.
meet
Never a
you
1 hour
afterward, and I'll meet up with you, and you can have, we'll get you the TV then.
4 hours later.
Like, yeah, about a half an hour late of me being when I was supposed to meet him, I left the mass so I could text him, hey, let me meet you in the parking lot of the church.
we're going into overtime.
Yeah, that was something. And he's just like, yeah, well, don't let me take you away. And I was like, no, it's cool. It's all good.
It's good.
Things fine.
So
Anyway, sorry.
no,
I
it's
derailed
okay.
you. Go ahead.
No, so
You're at the service that's 3 hours long.
so yeah, so we're there. You light your candle at the Holy Hibachi. Then you walk
What? I don't know anything about this stuff. Like
the whole weird. So it was supposed to rain.
I went to a Catholic school for 4 years, but yes.
It was supposed to rain, so they'd come up with a way to do like a smokeless energy sort of fire. Something. I was hearing about it, and it's real interesting. But anyway, but it didn't. So we were outside, and essentially,
You had road flares. Like what was the?
No, it came.
Well, normally everybody just lights a candle with a little paper doily on the bottom, right?
Well, so this one it's a candle.
Is it really a doily?
A little plastic holder. No, because that's part of the reason why someone lit the anyway. So you light this, but outside there's like essentially like a fire pit or whatnot, or as I refer to it, the Holy Hibachi.
Mm-hmm. You like alliterations, don't you?
Oh yeah, no, me and my dad sat in the back of the church. So the reason it's Easter Vigil, think of it, adults and let's say teenagers and whatnot that are coming into the Catholic Church later in life. They can go through a program called RCIA. I don't remember what it stands for, but essentially they can do all their sacraments in a single year. So they can do baptism, confirmation, and communion, all that stuff. Usually someone's doing it.
Because I don't remember either.
Usually someone's doing it so like they can get
rite
married.
Of Christian initiation of adults.
There you go. So they can get married in the Christian church to their significant other or whatnot. Or they're joining a Christian family. It's a bunch of reasons for someone to do it. So my mom's a sponsor for one of the people, and you go through each of those sacraments during this mass. So you watch a baptism, and you watch a first communion, you watch a confirmation, and you're like, man, really 45 minutes, we could have just said the thing about how the world was made or whatever and been good. Could we just go home now? But the candles get relit at one point. And a lady, this had to be like 4 years ago now, accidentally lit her hat on fire.
Oh, wow.
Like it was a floppy hat. Like that explains.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, did she have on a goofy hat? Like, what kind of hat did she have on?
Yeah, large brim, not necessarily like she didn't hold the candle to the top of her dome.
She was like, no, but and so we had to put a fire out the back of the church. So yeah.
All right.
So this year was a lot less eventful.
The one on the outline says karaoke, so I'm just still wondering how these two things.
What's that?
On the outline it says karaoke. So he's getting there.
I mean, there's a lot of singing at church, like it's a thing, and
everybody now.
Surprisingly, even though I do not go to church as regularly as I used to, or at all, I still they still use all the same songs, and like they're ingrained in my brain.
That's intentional. That's how it's supposed to.
Different recite things slightly differently.
Now they do
You just said
recite. They do
resuscitation.
Yeah, that's not what I want to say though. They do recite things different because like I noticed. So I refer to it as new church, so kind of like new Coke. And I'm waiting for them
formula church.
Right, I'm waiting for them to offer classic church so that I can go back because like there's just like peace be with you and like you repeat that and whatnot, but it's no longer that. It's like peace be with your spirit, as if my spirit is separate from me. I'm very confused why I'm wishing peace to my ghost.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that these changes were to either keep people there or attract new people to come.
Oh, correct? That's what they do. That's their update.
No.
Benedict's decision was we need a more literal translation of everything.
Yeah, this was
the fact that it makes less sense.
Right.
And then he retired, which popes aren't normally
retiring.
You kind of die. Yeah, that's
a lifetime position. Yeah,
I'm ready to roll.
I don't know why I did that, but
so anyway, and some other and Mike's right, it is a literal translation because there's other ones where it's like it used to be, let's say, very all-inclusive statement like pray for everyone, and now it's like pray for most, and I'm like, wait,
no, they changed it from it was
who are we excluding today
for the this is really bad because I was thinking about it too. It's the blood is shed for you and for all, which is now for you and many.
Many, yes. So that sins may be forgiven. Yep. And I'm like, wait, what happened here? Who?
It used to be everybody. Right. Now it's just more than 2.
That's an interesting limitation to put on it. That's
right.
The whole idea is supposed to be for everybody.
And then there's also and this is actually an older one, but when you're reciting the Our Father, you're supposed to bow at one point, and every time I'm just thinking to myself, I bow to no man. So
right.
So there's a
genuflect and there's all kinds of they increase the Catholic calisthenics a little bit more. Yeah.
Which I felt bad. My dad's getting his hip replaced in June, and we at one point where I'm like, we don't have to do all the there were people in the church giving different direction than the priest was giving to stand up, sit down, and I'm like, I turned to my dad. I'm like, that is not what we're supposed to do. Do not listen to that man.
You remember Pitfall for the 2600?
Yes.
When Harry touches the log, he basically looks like he's genuflecting, and it makes that horrific noise.
Yeah.
That's essentially what I'm picturing when you're describing the priest telling the congregation to do something, and then Lecter's disregarding and saying something else.
If it was the lectern, I would have been okay with it. If it's the person at least up on the altar giving some. No, this was the guy 4 rows back giving direction to everyone behind him.
Oh.
And it was okay. So man, we're getting real into church today. So at the end of communion,
this is a different show.
At the end of communion, whatever's left goes into the tabernacle, or as I refer to it, Jesus' vacation home. When the doors on the tabernacle close, that's when you stop kneeling and you can sit down.
Right.
But this guy turned around and started telling people to stand up because the choir was singing.
Okay, who is this guy, by the way?
Who knows?
Just random guy?
Just a random guy. And the funny thing is, he's behind all the people that just got their sacraments, so they don't see what he's doing. He's in the 4th row. And I think because the choir was singing Alleluia.
That sounds confusing.
That's why he wanted. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Get out of here. I'm not taking direction from some guy. So,
what's your name? Oh, it is some guy. All right, well, it's not taking direction from you.
So anyway, it was church was, and then I went and got drunk and did karaoke, which was the first time for doing both of those.
Yeah, so you were tweeting about combining Sprite with something. I don't know what it was.
So Sprite has a lemonade now.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it was lemon vodka. So
who were you with?
That doesn't seem terrible.
What's that? I was just with local friends.
Oh,
so, no, it was good.
I was gonna say you're still at church. I get it.
No, it's not. We'd left church. I'd gone to my parents' house. We'd done a little dinner, and then I went home. But I stopped it.
Well, wait a minute. What time did the service start?
7:30.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm picturing 11 p.m.
Oh no. So it used to be a midnight mass.
Right.
And no, not doing that ever again. But anyway, yeah. So then I left my parents' house. I was going home. I'm like, oh, let me stop. I got a text from someone. Hey, stop at this bar. We're all hanging out here. And it's close to last call because Delaware's a 1 o'clock state. So I'm like, okay, I'll stop by. And then from there we went and did karaoke and all that stuff. So
nice.
It was a good time. And then when I got home, I'm like, I still want to sing. So the Smule app on iPad is still fun to do duets and whatnot with people. So they are bad. You should not go listen to any of the ones I put up on Twitter. So
you put them up on Twitter, you said.
They are bad. They're I think it actually will bring you to the account.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's a lot of R&B. Whatever. I put them up on Twitter. I know they're bad.
Yeah, but I can put them up on Facebook and we can go from there.
Oh,
fine.
Here's where the dirt comes out.
Just remember.
Yeah.
I am an IT professional. That no one in our family actually knows what I do, and I'm pretty sure most people still think I make video games.
I know they do. Actually, I know a couple people who do.
Right, who are pretty certain. That's not what I do. Just keep that.
It's fine.
Keep that in mind. So anyway, yeah. So aside from that, I rewatched Endgame, and I'm hyped for tomorrow to go see, or rewatch Infinity War, and hyped to go see Endgame now.
Yeah.
Yo, it's time.
Friday at 10:45 p.m., which is nuts. But
Wait,
whoa! Is that when you're going to see it?
What, Aaron?
Yes.
You're gonna fall asleep, bro.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not.
man, you're
No,
gonna
I'm
fall
not.
asleep before the movie starts.
That's a 3 hour. It's a 3 hour plus movie. You don't do late nights.
Yeah,
How did you
no.
know this?
30 minutes of previews.
Yeah.
No, it's better.
11:15 the movie begins.
Like, it's better than going to one of those. There are theaters around me that are like, 1:30 in the morning it starts.
Well, here's the thing. I could have gone earlier, but then I'd be sitting in one of the first 2 rows, and
No, don't do that.
nope.
My first showing, I'm sitting in one of the first 2 rows.
Yeah. If I actually cared enough to want to I have to see it this weekend, I'd be studying all the Sunday showings.
Gotcha.
That seemed like it could be a reasonable early-ish, Sunday morning or whatever. And
I mean, I'm sure if you go to 11 a.m. show on Friday, it's not going to. I mean, the problem is there's going to be kids there, and I don't really feel like dealing with
also,
that.
I have a job.
Wait, what are the kids gonna do? Randomly attack you? What's gonna happen?
No, it's gonna
Get
be
that guy.
it's gonna be. Oh my God! I can't believe Jeremy Renner. It's really weird. They know his name. Is dead.
What?
That guy from the town is dead.
I don't know if Hawk. I don't think they're gonna kill off. I
They'll
don't
be
think they're gonna kill off anyone. So
I can't believe they put Iron Man in this movie.
You're like, wait, why are you here?
So,
oh man,
I love kids. I think they're great. I just don't need to see a movie.
The best
in the
would be
same
if you're just sitting there and watching.
I'm
and
trying to think, what was the last time you went to a movie and a child literally disturbed your actual
Amazing
enjoyment
Spider-Man 1 or 2.
Really?
Oh no, but sometimes kids just want to ask you questions, even if you don't know who they are.
And usually it's just the word why.
I wouldn't, and I don't mind. I would not mind that. That part, it's not. I have.
But the best would be something like you're sitting there, you're watching, and a kid leans over and says, "Is that Darth Vader?"
How often does that happen? When does it ever happen to you?
That's Superman, okay?
When I saw
rare, but it's hilarious.
When I saw Jurassic World during Too Many Games, when I went and saw the second Jurassic World movie, there was a kid in there that was literally scared of dinosaurs. I don't understand why you're at this movie. This child has expressed they do not like the core tenet of this movie.
Why did Star-Lord visit this planet? I don't understand.
The child, I knew the child didn't like dinosaurs.
I'm afraid of Bryce Dallas Howard. Why are we here?
Why are we here? That's stuff. That's why I want to.
First of all, son, that's very specific. Secondly, get in the car. Okay.
So it's like that kind of weird. I don't mind kids, and kids are gonna cry and whatnot. I have no problem with that part. It's when you literally ignore that the child has expressed they do not like the subject matter, and you're like,
well, it's kind of like the learn to swim by being thrown into the ocean.
That's a terrible way to teach people to swim.
Exactly.
Hey, it works for a lot of birds. Either you fly or you die. There you go. I mean,
we
it's up
don't
to
do
you.
the second part.
Yeah, it only works for the ones that do the first part. It doesn't work so well for the ones that get to the second part.
How did he do? Do you see him? There you go. That's how well he did.
There were 7 eggs. They all survived. You brought back 3 birds. What's the deal? Well,
you know what the deal is.
Look, it's either they know how to fly or they don't need to know anymore.
Exactly.
You're fine.
Anyway, we should move on.
We're flightless bird. We're chickens. It's fine.
Hey, Aaron, how lame is the Fatal Five?
You mean the actual group, the Fatal Five?
Yeah, because I think they're really lame.
I didn't really know anything about them, so the fact that Manos is called Manos and his power is his hand disintegrates things when he touches them.
What?
That's not great, but
interesting.
This
What
sounds
about huge guy with lightning out of his brain? Or the only cool one is the Emerald Eye Lady. That's the only cool.
She's like the sorceress.
Yeah,
essentially.
The Fatal Five is another lame DC super.
I've never heard of them, so it was all new to me. The guy who had the the Persuader.
Right.
He has the axe that can cut through anything, including Superman.
The atomic axe.
Yeah,
What?
Okay.
Oh, this is stupid.
And even
So-
the Legionnaires
I
were
mean-
new to me too. I was like, who is Mon El? I was like, oh, that's who that is.
So,
Unlucky.
yeah. So this starts with they are Legion supervillains, which is already lame because the Legion is lame. Like, oh, we're teenage superheroes from the future who are like, let's all band together to make a better world. Which is me saying this actually doesn't sound bad.
I'm
but
Starboy. You know.
There's it's that they literally have people like, I'm Bouncing Boy and I turn into a ball and bounce, or I'm Matter Eater Lad. What's my power?
I eat the origin of his powers are like he comes from a planet where there was no food, so they learned to eat anything. That is the dumbest thing.
Power. It's so dumb. Oh,
But
Legion's
but
so
it's
dumb.
on the nose though. Like they know it's dumb. They're aware, right? Right?
Yes. Like, yeah.
No.
But it doesn't stop it
No,
from being
Peggy. No.
dumb.
No,
It
no.
doesn't stop it from being dumb.
They did something very similar on like this. I hate that I know this, but fucking freaking Mon-El and like half the Justice League or whatever they're called is on the CW version of Supergirl, and they're just as lame and bad and terrible as you're
Yes.
describing. It's so bad.
Just like when they came to Smallville, they were bad then too. I mean, they've been
I
bad for
didn't know that. I don't know DC, so I didn't
the
know.
Legions from like the 70s.
I had no
They
idea.
were terrible.
You don't know CW's DC, and honestly, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, it was all new to me, so I watched it. It was it was a movie. I don't know.
So why couldn't Superman? I know that the axe technically can cut him.
Yep.
But there's a couple of questions I have about his axe that I'm going to ask. You're not going to answer. 'Cause
No,
it's
I'm
fine.
not.
Why, since he can swing it and open like portals in time and space or whatever,
Like you
why-
did. Yeah.
why don't they open every time he swings it? Because in theory, the axe is always that sharp. So
It's always cutting.
why is it not always cutting space?
He didn't hold the shift key on
plot?
the bottom of the axe. While
Or-
The ability's sometimes on cooldown, man.
Or
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. We want to
That's a
say
good
that.
answer, Peggy. Thank you.
That's a good answer.
I
B,
reached and I had nothing.
why can Superman not take out a guy who has an axe? Like,
That part is interesting. Yeah.
it's the same idea as when like they shoot him with the bullets and then when they throw the gun at him, he dodges it. Like, man, does he want Batman to get hit with the gun? Like, why is he dodging the part that's the least lethal?
Well, you probably would like the end of the movie because you're a big Green Lantern fan. So,
I and Jessica in that one.
so
wait, this was a movie?
the
It's an
movie,
animated movie.
the
It's an
movie, you should
Not
probably
gonna lie,
watch
I
it
thought this was a
because
comic.
the movie
Yeah, I
pretty
thought
much.
a show or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's her name?
This is one
Jessica.
of-
Is Jessica Cruz?
Cruise, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's kind of the focal point of the whole thing.
Mhm.
So you probably would like it if you
She overcomes great fear. how she becomes-
That's the least that she does.
Well, but we talked about this I think last week or 2 weeks ago. I forgot when.
3
Now
weeks ago.
Earth has six
Six. You mentioned six.
Green Lanterns.
Yep.
Mars has 0 Green Lanterns. Earth 6. Like,
Mars doesn't need any. I don't.
Yeah, they don't have anybody living there.
Yeah, it's really quiet.
That depends on
I
which.
don't know. How many of us are being jettisoned to Mars tomorrow?
Well, there's also
Oh,
You
by the
mean-
way, no.
Oh, she said, this is my last podcast or
Mars-
anything. Okay.
Martian Manhunter comes from Mars.
That's a good
Like,
point.
That's why.
Oh yeah, John
like,
Johns. Yeah.
Yeah, like
But
there
how-
are Martians in the
I
universe.
mean,
And then his cousin, niece, whatever her name is. So.
yeah,
Mhm.
not Miss Marvel.
Magan.
Yeah, Megan. Oh
Wait,
God,
Magan. I thought it was Magan Morse.
What's her superhero name though?
Miss Martian.
Miss Martian. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
guess, huh?
I was like
Wow.
super close. So
so there's supposed to be like a city on Mars, or people just jump out of the dirt?
well, so there's
both.
there's a real weird
They're flexible?
like there's the white Martians and then the green Martians, and the white Martians suppress the green and yeah, and then John
Okay.
Jones. There's a whole.
Well,
yeah,
John Jones is a green Martian, and Magan was
He's
a
a
white
white
Martian.
I mean, is a white Martian. Yeah,
Yeah.
like she is.
But then she's in a different form on Earth anyway. She's just,
Yeah, she's not a jerk.
yeah,
So
I don't know.
Hmm.
there's Anyway, again, this planet has 6 different people that are Green Lanterns. It's super weird why we have so many.
All right.
So yeah.
I rewatched Beetlejuice.
I was wondering why you had Beetlejuice.
Nice.
I wasn't sure if this was
I hadn't
the
seen
remake
it in a
or the
long time,
I
and
haven't either.
there was a part that always I didn't get, and I still don't get it. So after they try to scare them out of the house, they meet with Juno for the second time, and they talk about how they're going to scare the people out of the house. So then that's the part where they distort all their faces and everything else. Why are they doing that if no one can see them?
Do they know that no one can see
Like
them?
Lydia can see them, but they like Lydia, but no one else can see them. So
Do
what
they-
purpose
do they
does
know
it
that at that
serve?
time?
They
Did
do.
they think this through?
No,
because they had a special effects budget and they wanted
exactly. It just looked cool,
like,
but like it made no sense. Also, like,
Oh.
why was Beetlejuice trapped in the model? Why?
I don't know.
Because Juno
Because-
says, I haven't heard that he's snooping around your grave. But your grave in the model. But why is he trapped in the model?
Huh.
no idea.
It doesn't make any... it's fine. It holds up kind of well, but it doesn't make any sense.
Are they still talking about doing another one?
They are. It's...
There is one in the works. It's the
Yeah, I
animated
thought they were-
series though.
Oh,
Animated
really?
movie.
I didn't watch the first animated series because...
Yeah, it was like a
Didn't
Saturday morning
see the-
cartoon.
I remember watching it. Yeah.
Was
I
it
remember
was it
watching
good?
I thought it was fine.
It was all right.
It was
I mean,
on
again-
when the Back to the Future cartoon was on.
I
wasn't it?
Yeah,
missed
it was
that one too.
Like it was like mid to late '90s. It's the same idea as when they're like, "Hey, we made RoboCop. Why don't we make a RoboCop cartoon?
For the kids!
Super violent movie is appropriate for the children."
So we
Perfect.
can get them to watch the movies.
Or the Rambo, or the
Right.
Rambo action figures, or like
Or
Yeah,
anything they made that's
the
like, why
Terminator
did they
action
make
figures
Police
that did.
Academy toys again? I don't...
Well, because by the time they
Yeah,
got to
they-
like the fourth one, it was just a PG movie.
Yeah, the third one was PG, right? The first one was R.
Maybe.
Second one
Definitely
might
the
have been
first was R. Second was 13.
13. And then
I don't remember. I don't even remember which one was 3. I don't know.
Citizens on Patrol.
It's on Patrol.
yes, I remember that one.
And then Miami Beach was 5.
5. 6 was
The Moscow
City
one.
Under Siege. 7 was the Moscow one.
Oh, sorry. I skipped
yeah.
over one really good Police Academy.
Good Police Academy.
Yeah. Like once I watched the first one again like a couple years ago, and I was like, dude, this is awful. This whole thing is just trash.
They were really comfortable.
I
like the worst
remember-
jokes.
I remember laughing pretty hard as a kid at the 5th movie, but come on. These
I
are
think
dumb.
Miami Beach might be the best one. Either 5 or 6. Outside of the
That was
first
the one where they
5 or
they
6.
spray the I don't remember the dude's name, the like jerk captain guy, and they spray the
Captain Harris.
hair. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sunscreen on his chest.
Yeah, it said dork or jerk or something like that.
Something stupid. Yeah, and he doesn't
Yeah.
think to look down. Everybody's just like, "Hey, jerk." Yeah, that was like the best part of the movie. So
Yeah.
if that doesn't make you laugh, don't watch
Don't
any
watch
of Police Academy movies.
I mean, they're all really they're dumb. I mean, but
They're dumb.
they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also watched Ghostbusters 2, which I've often said is not a very good movie, but it was kind of funny. Like Bill Murray was kind of funny in it.
Yeah, he did. You know what? I'll tell you this. When Ernie Hudson at his panel, you know, a lot of people, because everybody wants to talk about Ghostbusters, right?
Of course.
He specifically stated that Bill Murray thought that Ghostbusters 2 was terrible.
I'm not surprised.
It was like he always thought that movie turned out supremely terrible. Just he wanted it to be good, but it was bad, and he was just angry about the fact that it turned out to be a bad movie.
I mean, it wasn't as good. I mean, it clearly lacked like the heart of the first one, but there was still it was dumber, but there was still something there. I guess I don't.
Hey, I've seen the second one more times than the first because when I was at the age, it was
same way.
on HBO like 20 times a day.
Yep, that's also my problem.
So when I watch it now, which is I only saw it like once in the last like 15 years or whatever, and I saw it, I was like, oh man, like so many of these lines I've got like memorized, but I didn't remember what they were from. and that creepy dude like worshiping the painting.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I
Neagle.
don't know who you are, but I don't like any of this.
He was pretty terrible too. It just, I don't know. It was still some funny things. I could tell like Bill Murray like just improvised a lot of the funniest parts. They just let him just be funny, and he would just be funny. And also, why like 3 men who weren't they all doctors? They all have their doctorates.
I think so. Of some type.
Did Ray?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Why they would hire? I mean, I know Rick Moranis' character was the comic relief, even though you already have Bill Murray. But anyway, why would these 4 people hire his character to be their lawyer and represent them? It's just beyond me. Like, I'm watching it like, you don't know anybody better than this.
I mean,
you could throw a rock
you're giving smart people, not necessarily.
No, I just mean people who run somewhat in professional circles. You might still be dumb.
Whoa, time out. Do you really think they ran in professional circles? Like, one owned a...
They were kind of ostracized.
Yeah.
One owned an occult bookstore and, like, decided to buy a piece of land based on it having a fire pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
That was 100% inadequate for their need. Honestly,
Bill Murray had a really crappy TV show.
Yeah, and like he's just hitting on co-eds.
And Egon was doing those tests where he had the couple in that room. They thought they were there for marriage counseling. It was just the test and study about anger. So they had them waiting for 2 hours.
Honestly, Winston is the one who can navigate like social situations probably the best.
Yes.
Right.
And he's here to talk about big Twinkies. So
yeah.
So I mean, Janine was probably really the one holding that whole thing together.
Dana actually was the most mature of all of them, to be.
So, but
and her tub that tried to eat her. So
and her, man, Ghostbusters.
You know, another thing Ernie Hudson said at the panel, he wanted to be the voice of Winston for the animated series.
Why not?
And he actually auditioned for it. And the guy, he said at the time they said to him, it's not really an audition. We just want you to read just to see how it goes or whatever.
Okay.
And he said the guy who was like the director of the thing said he wasn't Ernie Hudson enough.
What does that mean? He is Ernie Hudson.
That's what he just sat there like staring like, I have never understood what he was talking about.
I mean, the only thing you can say there is like, not all actors make good voice actors.
True.
And that's
but,
fine.
Like, if he's not, yes, Ernie Hudson presents himself in a way through body language and whatnot and all this. And if he couldn't present that through his voice, like that's, I mean,
and if that's what the guy was trying to say, it didn't come across to Ernie Hudson.
So Tiny, the first substitute is also your favorite movie. Is that what you're?
What's that?
No, I'm kidding.
I completely missed the third substitute. Now I understand.
No, the first one where Ernie Hudson was the antagonist.
Right.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
That's how long. Yeah, like this is how long I don't remember.
Yeah, I wouldn't have remembered that.
I mean,
the
also,
substitute was not a movie I would like sit and watch.
Also, and this is what I was trying to remember. Remember
it works.
What did Egon look like in the cartoon versus what Egon looks like in any of the movies?
Yeah. He had like blonde hair, right?
He has the blonde, like kind of weird, like
a Twinkie on his head or something.
Yeah, like horn coming out of his head. And it's like because we couldn't have another brown-haired guy.
It was to just differentiate him from the other characters.
Correct.
But wouldn't his actions and dialogue maybe have done that, and the glasses?
I think so. But later on in the comics,
the height.
They've done a lot of Ghostbusters.
Peggy, should I keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
They've done a lot of Ghostbuster comics since, and they've introduced both the regular Egon and then that Egon as competing boyfriends for Janine. So
I'm not into whatever that is.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Yeah.
So I'll leave it to you guys. Yeah.
Peggy looks confused. Peggy's like, wait a minute, run that back.
You know what? Nope. I'm good. I'm good. Sure.
All right. Well, I'll keep it moving. We played mini golf. Well, we went to Ocean City last week. I had never been, even though I've been living in Maryland for many, many, many years. Never been to Ocean City. Finally went.
Nice.
And when we got there, because it's like the week before everything kind of opens, I was thinking, like, will anything be open? But then, you know, I mean, the boardwalk was obviously open. There was stuff to do. It just, at first, it was like, maybe, are we going to be the only ones here, like, for the whole week?
At least you saw it on a weekend. If you're in April during the week, it's basically like they nail a board across the entire city.
It was like that when we were there. I mean, like, to find a plate, like, dough rollers was open, but half the places, well, oh, get something to eat. Closed.
It's still cold. I mean, it's sure days are nice and everything, but
it was still, it was cool. So
yeah.
And we went to the beach. We didn't go on the water, but we were on the beach. But it was fun, and we'd never been. And we did one of those 4-seat bike things, and nobody got their leg or skin ripped off from the pedals. So it was a success.
Perfect.
It was.
That's a positive. Yeah.
We had a good time.
It's a very low bar, but I'm glad it worked out.
But unfortunately, it was a little awkward and quite disturbing. We saw a family of 4 go by on one of those things that we had been on previously, and we heard someone yelling behind us on the boardwalk, and then we saw the bike come up.
Okay.
And like without the family?
No, the family was in it, and the dad was frustrated with somebody in the vehicle, and all we could see was him, and he was turned around. And he had his hand up like he was getting ready like to backhand somebody. So we're all just like, let's like watching it. You know, we can see you, man. Like,
yeah.
And we're extrapolating like, if you'll do this on a not extremely busy but populated boardwalk, what are you doing when we're not here? So we couldn't tell like, was he yelling at like the wife or the kids? Like either way, it was like But then when they came back the other way, I was like, yeah, that was the wife. Because he looked, and he had his hand up. He looked. I made eye contact with him, and he stopped. But then the bike kept going. And,
wow.
Yeah. So when they rolled back, I was like, yeah, that was the wife. That was in front of all of us. Everybody here. So it was, wow, it's kind of sobering. Like, yeah. But, well, it was a good trip. Not for everybody, but, fortunately, but it was a good trip. So now that I brought the show significantly down, we did play some mini golf, and I realized that I'm kind of good at mini golf. So that was fun. Nice. I didn't know that. So
what was your score at the end?
I forgot. It was it was under par.
Better than the rest of your family.
Plus 24. Got it. All right, cool.
So so the deal was that they had to walk back to the hotel on their hands, and I would drive the car. So. You know,
perfect.
Yeah, so you know, they made the wager
on their hands.
Hey, you know it's.
Hey kids, it's only 24 blocks.
There was a family in front of us, and the girls, you know, they don't do a lot of mini golf, so the youngest was a little wild with her swings, and I think they felt like we were like pushing them forward because her ball a couple of times would just kind of hit them or be on the hole they were on, and we were a hole behind. So they took it in strides. You know, they all 4 or 5 times it happened. So it was good times were had by all.
Nice.
Especially me because I was well under par. So
there you go. Perfect.
So let's see. 6 times 18 is 108, right?
There you go.
Is my math checking out?
That's a really high par.
Yeah.
Well, no, 6 is the cutoff. Like once you hit 6, you're not allowed to take any more swings.
Oh yeah.
Things are just like 6 max.
That is right. We were writing down like 7s and 9s. We were keeping it honest.
That depends on a lot of things there.
Yeah, I think it depends on like how busy it is too.
Yeah.
Like.
So.
Yeah. Good times.
Nice.
All right. I didn't put any feedback on the outline, and that's on me. So. I guess we're going to jump into games we've been playing.
Sweet.
And Peggy, you were up first.
Oh. Well, we mentioned both. It is games I've been playing is Elder Scrolls Online and this small FPS called Overwatch, in case anyone has heard of that. Actually, today has been particularly interesting because a new developer update came out literally this morning, where they added a lot more customization to custom games. So you can actually like basically write your own code to create different sort of scenarios. Like if you guys know what Super Hot is, right?
Yes.
The VR game where like when you stop, everything else stops and all that. You can now make basically a Super Hot-esque game in Overwatch. You can also do the whole golden gun thing in like COD and CSGO and a couple of other places. You can now do that, but with like Golden Hero essentially in Overwatch 2. So this huge update just dropped. No one really knew it was happening, but it adds so much more customization to what you can do and all the stuff. Like you can make... I haven't seen it yet, but apparently you can make any character double jump, and apparently you can make any character wall climb, which is going to be interesting to see a big, muscular metal knight Reinhardt wall climb up and earth shatter the hell out of your team. So that's going to be an interesting thing to see within the next couple of days. But yeah, that kind of turned the entire game on its head. I know a lot of people who've been playing a lot with it since it came out only a couple hours ago, and already like we're seeing some very, very good games like the Golden Gun and the Super Hot sort of thing.
Okay,
so,
when you say Golden Gun, you mean a gun that can kill anybody in one shot?
No,
Yeah.
so Golden Gun is the game mode where like you cycle through all the guns in a game.
Oh,
No,
So, like
that's gun game.
sure, Gun Game 2. So you can play Gun Game, except it's Gun Hero or Hero Game, whatever you want to call it.
okay.
Well, But gold is the reason.
I'm thinking of like
fast.
GoldenEye.
Golden Gun is from GoldenEye, where you had one bullet that could kill if you hit. A
Well, also
player,
from
they
the
also die.
the movie,
like,
the man
they
with the
died, period.
golden gun.
Right.
So that's why-
I think
that's
I
why I
might
was
I
in
might
my
be
head like
identifying.
gold,
Yeah.
Golden Gun. You didn't say GoldenEye.
Yeah, Black Ops had I think temporary mode. I think they called it one in the chamber.
One in the chain. Well, but
Yeah.
so that one is, you get one bullet, you shoot someone else, you get their bullet, but they die, and like.
Well, they're not
Yeah,
going to need that bullet. 'cause
Well,
they're dead.
actually, you get
that
you
just
get a
makes
bullet
logical sense.
for every kill. So if you melee somebody, you can have more than one bullet.
Right, but like
Right.
it's everyone has one bullet essentially.
Well, Peggy,
Right.
I think what you've mentioned sounds very exciting. I love Super Hot, so when you
Yeah,
said that, I
I
was
saw a
like,
couple
I'm
people play
interested.
it.
So
Oh, absolutely.
even if I don't like, not I said don't like, if I don't play the base Overwatch experience, people are making like just like single levels or experiences that you can just download and just go nuts.
So you can't play, like, there isn't a level editor yet.
Mhm.
This is really the first venture into sandboxing that we've seen Overwatch really do. At least I
sounds
think that's the right term. Like sandboxing, like creating your
Yeah.
own experiences. Yeah. This is
custom-
definitely the first time that we're seeing Overwatch
That
do
sounds
it.
pretty cool.
It's incredible. It's so good. I'm so excited for people to kind of try that out more, because I know people want to do some racing maps. I know people want to do a whole bunch of things that kind of emulate what it was before. So like, or rather games that came before this. So yeah, it's an entirely new game at this point.
I think the most important question that we all have, even though
Yeah.
Tiny nor Mike have said anything to me,
Of course.
has someone recreated World 1-1 from Mario Brothers? Because that, my God, that is the
If
one
there was
thing.
a level editor, I wouldn't put it past anyone. But again, this is kind of
Yes.
like the you can modify
Logic.
The-
This is,
you can modify the logic of the game
It's like
and
a
not
Game
the
Genie
actual
for
levels.
Overwatch, sort of.
Sorry?
Like Game Genie, like, well, you can just make things as ridiculous as possible within the framework of.
Exactly. So
That's
like
the-
you can't make your own like map or anything like that, but you can like make a one-hit kill with a hammer or whatever. You can make melee disable, but also like slow time whenever you're not moving, like that sort of thing.
Can you change
So
the objectives of the modes?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, that's okay. Cool. Yep.
Yep.
I'm gonna try it out. I guess I have to
It's a lot of
install.
fun.
Wait, what do I have to install again?
Overwatch. Have fun. What's
Tiny,
wrong,
what are
Tiny?
you doing?
What are you doing?
oh, hold my breath that Aaron's going to install Overwatch.
Oh yeah, good luck with that.
Battle.net.
It wasn't that. That's the name of it. Yeah, there we go.
Net. Yeah.
I knew it had a name.
What is it called again? Over who?
Oh, it's called Overnet. It's called Over the Net, right? Okay, Over the Net.
Underlook, yeah, it's there.
Uberwatch.
Uberwatch. There we go.
Yeah,
It's called Side Eye. That's what it's called.
Literally raising money for the kids. Didn't play the game.
For the kids.
But the kids got the money. I mean, that's... You know, Cody also mentioned I'm supposed to play Ultima 5 as well. I'll do it.
Warriors of Destiny.
Oh, you know the subtitle. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah. I know my Ultimas. Come on now.
Maybe you should play it.
Which one you want to play? The NES version? Or the one that actually isn't terrible?
The NES version.
There you go.
Can I just point out really quick? Super Nintendo said, I can't wait for the game Lego Overwatch. There are Lego versions of Overwatch. That is a thing that exists IRL. There are physical Legos for Overwatch.
I saw them at Target, I think.
Yep.
Is it a Target exclusive?
No, you saw them in BC Terps' Twitter feed. Ben bought all of them.
Okay.
Jeez. That's so many. But yeah, no, they have like Gibraltar, Hanamura, I think they have a full Lego Reinhardt and all that jazz. So it does exist.
These are all names that you're saying, correct?
Hanamura and Gibraltar are 2 maps. Reinhardt is a character.
That's the character that Tiny likes, right?
That is the character that when Jay was on
the big guy with the hammer, yeah.
Yep.
Saying Tiny Ryan. Things are coming together.
Tiny often picks the tank-like character.
Oh.
That makes 100% sense considering what I know about Tiny.
I also play a lot of Mercy. Like, I don't...
I just met
that
Tiny
also
last
100% makes sense. Like, it really is. I don't see you as a DPS. Let's just go with that.
No, because McCree... McCree's not bad.
McCree. Oh, that's the name I was trying to think. I was
that's the cowboy guy, right?
Gunslinger.
Yeah, that's the yeehaw.
Reaper is a terror... Like, when people come up to the actual booth and they say they play Overwatch, and then we ask who their main is, if they say Widow or Reaper or Hanzo or Genji...
That's what you knock them unconscious? Is that okay.
I say maybe they should work on themselves and come back and like sign up for the charity next year. Like
wait.
Work on themselves first.
Hang on. Wait a minute. I was a Widow main. I started out as a Widowmaker main, and then I moved on to Ana and...
No one likes snipers. Like, I'm sorry.
You don't like snipers. You don't like snipers.
I'm gonna make this general statement.
Says be specific.
No one likes snipers.
You don't like sniper. I'm sorry, your mercy movement isn't good enough to avoid a headshot. Like, I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
No one likes snipers. Unhonorable. My giant shield is fine to stop you. They're lame. So. Oh yeah. Also, Junkrat. Also. Nah, I mean Junkrat's fine. He just seems sometimes overpowered. So
depends on the patch.
So yeah, and that's like, hey, he should have 2 tires at a time or whatever.
two mines. Let's not give people 2 tires.
Well, no, it should be able to go all over the map for the fun of it.
There you go.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overwatch.
What's the problem?
I have not played the new event that's going on right now.
Yeah, Storm Rising. So basically what's going on is this is when the lore kicks in. This is the archive event, which happens every year. And currently it is Storm Rising. It was Retribution before that, and it was something else before that, whose name I forget. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. So this time around, Storm Rising is essentially you're in Havana, which is now a new map that's out on PTR as well. And you go through one of the last missions for Overwatch, like the actual organization itself, which was interesting, but kind of felt like you should have been able to do more. Like it felt like it was halfway, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Okay. Expectations were higher than what was delivered, I guess.
A little bit, just because like it stops very suddenly, and it felt a little light on the lore and the entire reason that this event even is there. And like you got a lot of good information, but like you got a lot more from previous events.
Gotcha.
Okay. So Tiny promised that you had a list of 35 indie games that you were going to rattle off, and no,
Me?
Okay.
Don't pay it.
I'm sorry.
Don't pay. It's what he does.
I can hear you and see you.
Gotcha. So yeah, what, Mike? You next?
Sure. So I finished Crackdown 3 finally.
Nice.
You've been playing Crackdown 3
for Oh yeah, I thought you had listened to the shows that we did.
I did. I don't remember you saying cracked. Why don't I remember that?
That's like pretty much the only like,
game you talked about for like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it ended, and I was just like, all right, well, I could get some more achievements,
Yeah,
but some of the ones that, like the one for driving 100 miles an hour for 5 seconds without crashing, it's basically busted. I've tried it with multiple vehicles. I've looked it up on the internet. Some other people are like, yeah, it didn't work for me. And other people are like, you're crazy. It worked for me just fine. I'm like, all right, well, I don't care. It's not worth it.
Stop talking to me.
It took like a few seconds to try it. It didn't work. But then I went back and I watched the opening cinematic again. And I'm like, I swear I've never seen this before. So I don't know what happened the first time I played. But that whole thing with Terry Crews and like gathering a bunch of other agents or whatever, that was all brand new to me. But it really reinforced that whole, what does Terry Crews have? Like, what is the affinity with ducks? Like, what is this? I don't understand. It seems like they're going for something that goes nowhere. I don't know. But it's, yeah, I like the game itself was pretty entertaining. Like, I saw it on sale today for $30. If you don't have Game Pass, $30 is an okay price for a game like that.
If you're gonna play it by yourself or with other people.
I only played it by myself. It was fine.
Okay.
Like, oh, if you're looking to play that like Smash Buildings online mode, don't waste a dime. That was terrible.
It's not good.
No, that was awful. But you know, as a campaign, whether you're playing it by yourself or with a friend, yeah, that's fine. It's a fun game. Okay. You know, there's a lot of stupid weapons. You're smashing all kinds of dumb enemies. You know, it's like the agency vehicle can turn into something that can drive up the side of a building, but it gets stuck like 80% of the time. And then the game starts glitching out because the physics model want to get it like through the wall of the building, but it can't because it's, and then it'll just start banging. Like it's pretty dumb, but
they only had like 8 years to work on it, Mike. You know, just cut on some slack.
Yeah, well, they canceled it. I mean, they basically restarted like
did.
6 times or whatever, and then they're finally like, whatever, just put it out. Does it execute? Yeah, there you go. Good. It's a game.
Is it fun? What'd you just ask me?
Terry Crews recorded a bunch of lines of dialogue from like his home office and just mailed them in. So we figured, I don't know, we'll do something with this. I don't know. Apparently he likes ducks or something.
Quack,
and
quack.
Yeah, I still don't get it, but yeah, it was all right. I also played a little bit of Road Rash for the Game Boy Color, which I didn't even know existed.
It's the best version, CD audio.
I saw it at Midwest Gaming Classic for a few dollars, and I was like, all right, why not? And I feel like looking at the artwork on the cartridge made me think, oh, it's going to be based on the 3DO version. It's basically Road Rash 2 for the Genesis. Almost the exact same game.
I mean, that makes sense, right?
I mean, Mike, the real question is, did you or Ben pick up at least one of the Vetrexes that you saw?
Pick up as in physically lift, or
I mean,
come
lift,
home with?
keep with you, put in luggage, and bring back to this area so I could have one.
Because the answer to both questions is actually no. But
I mean,
that's
the answer
disappointing.
Man, we talked about this last week.
Yeah, if that first guy still had the one for 220 when I
was
back,
surprised to hear you say that on the show. You're like, yeah, it's not there, so like I saved 220. I'm thinking, you would have really bought that?
Are you kidding me? I almost bought that one at Too Many Games for 300 the one year.
Like, are you gonna buy it to actually play or like put on the shelf and ogle it like you do?
I mean, do you need to ask that question? I mean,
no, I don't. I also can't judge because I'm looking at my own show.
Yeah.
Like,
I would definitely boot it up once to make sure that it worked, but then every other time I ever wanted to plug it in, I would think, well, that's a few less seconds of life that this thing has before the vector monitor goes.
Yeah. It would be nice to put on the shelf, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, because it's a nice form factor. It's self-contained. You don't need to hook it up to anything other than a power outlet.
And the controllers fit right inside, correct? Two of them or one of them? Do 2 controllers fit inside?
I don't remember. I don't remember how that works. But you can get a multi-cart. Like you just get the entire library, and then you're good.
But you can't stream it easily.
You can look at it.
That's half the fun. You're right.
That's half the fun.
That's why we're all here to look.
Back when they made it, that was all the fun.
You gonna play it? No, look at it.
Yeah,
get out of here.
So yeah, I mean, Road Rash for Game Boy Color. It's smoother than I would have guessed, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna play much more of it.
Weird.
But hey, that's another version of Road Rash that I didn't have before.
Yes, that's
Pretty
true.
sure there's some original Game Boy Road Rashes that I don't want to play.
Probably not. Yeah,
I feel like I played one of them once, and it was 1 to 3 frames per second, something like that.
That many? Oh, okay.
It's a roll of the dice. It's not even smooth. It's not even as smooth like 2. It fluctuates between 1 and 3.
The frames are RNG. Nice.
The game is called Count the Frames as you try to swing this chain at another man's face.
Sold.
That's basically it. Tiny, you've been playing something a little bit more modern, it looks like.
I have. So in preparation for Mortal Kombat 11 coming out this week, I went and played through Mortal Kombat 10's story mode.
First time or replay?
I think this was the first time for 10. I got it for a birthday a couple years back now.
Who'd you play as?
I mean, you play as everyone in the story mode.
Oh, that's true. Don't question.
You play through and wacky stuff happens. Like how we got from, let's say, what the story modes were in those first 2 or 3 games to what happens now. So like Mortal Kombat 9 or Mortal Kombat whatever, the one that came out in 2011, is a weird time hopping adventure where Raiden gets told, is getting these weird visions of the future, so he has to let these certain things happen. So Liu Kang has to die, Kung Lao has to die at some point, and all this stuff. So, and it's real goofy, things that should have happened based on the other games don't happen now. Then you get to 10 where everyone has kids. So Johnny Cage and Sonya have a child who's now 18 years old, Casey. Jax has a child. I don't know why Siri listened to Jax and thought I was talking to my phone.
We are also confused.
Kung Lao has a child, and someone else. I forget who the last. Anyway, so you follow them now, the combat kids.
Combat kids.
So through Mortal Kombat X, and it's interesting. They're fighting now. Since Shao Kahn's dead, he dies in both 8 and 9. There's a new Khan that rules Outworld, and Liu Kang is undead, and he's evil. And
why did they make Liu Kang evil? Who's my favorite character from the first game?
Well,
why make him evil? What have they done?
So the big thing that they keep, and even in this game, they're Raiden essentially killed Liu Kang, but it's because Liu Kang had been possessed or whatnot at that point. He had to. It wasn't a choice. And but Liu Kang was Raiden's chosen champion. So now in this game, in 11, Liu Kang from the 1990s comes forward, and he's hearing this thing, and he's like, I can't believe Raiden would kill me, blah, blah, blah. And Kung Lao's like, well, he also let me die and get my arms ripped off.
It's fun to hear someone say that. They let me get killed.
It's super weird. Sonya, anyway, so I played through, it was 5 hours to play through X's story. And that was fun. And now I'm in 11, so that came out this week. I'm about 4 chapters into it. And it's the whole, we've already introduced the 90s versions of most of the characters. So now there's 2 Johnny Cages in the current story. There's 90s D-bag Johnny Cage, and then modern day Johnny Cage. And you're trying to figure out what's going on. Scorpion and Sub-Zero are friends now.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
They're also both human. Well, they explain
well, they were colleagues in the Mortal Kombat movie. So.
Well, they are, but they're also on Earthrealm's side.
That doesn't. Oh, okay.
That doesn't help, but continue.
Exactly. Where does Goro fall into all this?
Okay, so you have to know that the Sub-Zero from the first two games was Bihan, who becomes Smoke / Noob Saibot, depending on which time we're going to talk about him.
As you do.
Yeah, as it happens. There's a lot. Also,
Noob Saibot.
Yeah, they also have Sector and Cyrax, and how there's both human and then the robot versions of them. There's a robot version of Scorpion or of Sub-Zero at the end of time.
There's a human version of Cyrax?
Well, right. Okay, so
that doesn't even make sense.
Does he still shoot webs out of his chest?
Is this from Archive of Our Own? Like, did you hit up some fanfic up in here?
There's an attractive version of Baraka that.
This is 100% in the game.
Deo 3.
Okay, the Lin Kuei clan, which is Sub-Zero's clan, the Grandmaster at that point with Bihan decides, we are going to take out the human element of our deadly ninja assassins by making them all robots, but essentially transferring their brain into said robot. So that's how Cyrax and Sector, and then there's another character in 10 called Triborg, who is just all their personalities in one robot. That's how the robots got introduced. They were actually people in 9 that you fight against, but then you find out that Sector, it's Sector, I think it is, didn't actually want to become a robot, and it was against his will. So then Cyborg turns off the inhibitor chip, or Sub-Zero does, and Sector is going to fight with the good people. Yeah, anyway. It's for a game that came out in the 90s that, did not have this level of story.
Right.
I think it's admirable that they are able to include all the old versions. And, no one even cares. They're just like, yeah, I'll accept this. Sure.
That's part of it. 9 essentially retells the story of 1 through 4. 1 through 3 with parts of 4. Because, who's the cop in Mortal Kombat? Striker. Oh. No, Sonya's part of Special Forces, which is apparently a thing, but, it's not Special Forces as in a part of the army. No, it's an army of Special Forces. I don't understand. Anyway, so Stryker is also evil now. He died somewhere. Who knows when? He's now a zombie, or a revenant, as they call them. Jax was also a revenant, but then you killed Quan Chi, which released his soul.
I didn't do anything.
Jax came back, but Jax still was missing the arms, so he still has his robot arms. Yeah, it's. Mortal Kombat's lore is super weird, but I don't know. The game's fun so far.
That's what people are there for. The lore.
Yeah. It's there for the lore. We can go. We haven't even talked about Boracho or any of those guys yet.
We do this podcast for the lore.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Anyway, it's a lot of fun. The meters are a little different this time around. How you perform special attacks. Not everything can be enhanced, but in 10, it was spend a chunk of meter. And, look, your projectile probably doubles up, or it becomes a fireball like it does in Street Fighter. A red fireball instead of a blue fireball. So they've made some changes to how you can execute that. I find it hard to read some of the meters at points, because it feels like I should be able to execute a brutality move, which is the X-ray moves from the past. But it seems like that only comes in when you get to final blow, which means you have to have 20% of your health or less left. So it's fun. It's still a work in progress. They're going to release something to fix some of the grindiness of the crypt, they're saying. And yeah, so that's Mortal Kombat.
Did you mentioned you're playing it on PS4, right?
I am playing it on PS4.
You didn't get the Switch version?
I will probably pick up the Switch version once it goes on sale.
Understood.
On the go.
That is a 20 gig download, if memory serves.
That is craziness. Again, and I complained about this last week, that I guess I will just have to unplug my memory card so that I can use the unused space inside my Switch that apparently if I have a memory card in, you can't address. Which is so...
What is the internal storage on the Switch?
What, it came with 32 gigs,
Yeah,
but
that sounds
really
about
it's
right.
usable of
Like
I think
20?
It's 20, 22, something like that is
Yeah.
usable.
Okay.
I have a 400 gig card in mine now.
I have a 200 gig card.
Step it up, son.
That good.
Exactly.
I dropped it.
Get sale. That's all.
Oh, it just disappeared in a crack in the floor, and now it's gone forever.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
Uh,
F in chat, please.
Look behind your cuticle. You'll find the SD card. Oh,
200 a 200 gig card in there, and I was running out of space. But then I got rid of that like fruit kart racer we got sent and whatnot, and I had more space.
Well, I mean, Tiny, we dedicated so much time to that game. I can't.
Oh, that game was so bad.
All-Star
Anyway,
Fruit Racing? Come on.
So, and then
You
the
know you
last
love
game we can talk about now because the embargo's up. It comes out tomorrow for when we're recording this. It comes out on Thursday the 25th. SteamWorld Quest, the fifth SteamWorld game. Sorry, I don't. I always forget about the tower defense game.
What was that called? I don't remember that either.
I think it's SteamWorld Tower Defense.
They had a
Perfect.
tower defense game?
It was a DSiWare game.
I mean, I know they
Wow,
had Dig,
so that's
they had
like the
Dig
first
2,
game?
they had Heist. I didn't
It
know
was
they
the
had
first
that.
SteamWorld game. Yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize they had.
First SteamWorld game was SteamWorld Tower Defense DSiWare. Yep.
Wow, Steam World Zero.
Well, I'm glad those servers are on. I can go grab that.
So that came out in 2010, and then SteamWorld Dig.
Dig 2. Dig 2 was awesome.
Heist, then Dig 2.
Yeah, Heist did come out
Now,
first.
now
Heist was really good, too, even though I didn't finish it.
I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Oh, I'm sure. It was fantastic. I just didn't finish
So.
it, but I did finish Dig 2. I love Dig 2.
And see, I have not finished Dig 2.
Dig, I restarted it like 3 or 4 times, but Dig 2 just, yeah, I played that one all the way through. It was so good.
So, but Quest is now out. Well, it will be out by the time you hear this.
And I have some thoughts about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun 3-person RPG
Card battler.
card battling game. Yeah, like
And don't you appreciate the actual like punch card like things in the bottom of each one?
I mean, I'm waiting for someone to do the work to see like
What they actually mean. Yeah,
how you would translate this to a punch card system, but like I'm sure they probably mean something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is set in a medieval fantasy type. So the weird thing about SteamWorld is they go all over the place with their settings.
Yeah.
For Wild Wild West to spaceships that are stealing water,
You
and
need
now
water.
medieval fantasy.
You can't have steam without water.
So, well, because so the reason it's called SteamWorld is because these robots are all steam powered. So, at least in like Heist, you have to keep a level of water for them to function. And that's what you're trying to steal back or whatnot. But this is after like the world's been exploded. So I assume Heist is the last in the SteamWorld cinematic universe.
Chronologically, yes.
Right, yeah. So, but in Quest, so far I've been playing, the map structure reminds me of Darkest Dungeon,
Mm-hmm.
where it's essentially just little arenas you're going through, and they have like, they're all squares or rectangles, and usually have one of maybe 2 or 3 options to leave. You can see your enemies on screen. If you can hit them, running into them starts the interaction for the fight. If you swing at them first,
And hit.
you can get an early hit. If they hit you first, they could be a surprise attack.
You notice that the little bomb characters, they always seem to sort of hit me first, even though they have like they have no projectile, no long limbs, no anything. They seem to hit me first. I don't understand why.
I feel like so everything. If you guys, for the people who haven't seen this yet, the play area works on a gradient. So, but everything's 2D art. So, like, I don't always feel like I'm lined up with the other character to hit them, but then I'll swing and somehow like whiff it, and then they'll hit. It doesn't look like they changed planes, but they still hit me.
Yeah, that can be weird. But you can also sneak by people too, which is
you can can go
I've
past
done
them,
that, yeah.
like a Chrono Trigger kind of thing. Like there's not random battles.
no, not at all.
You have to engage with you engage with an enemy on the screen, and then it brings up the battle mode.
Have you run from a battle yet? I've not done that.
I had to run from a battle. I was getting my butt kicked by 4 of the Anubis-looking robots, and this was like early on, so I was like,
how many teams? I mean, have you? Like, you still have the core? Okay, yeah, it grows.
I just found someone in a cage, so I assume I'm gonna talk to that person.
That character has some pretty good abilities.
So this game comes out. It is exclusive on Switch right now. This game comes out on Thursday, the 25th, and I mean, I'm enjoying it so far.
I just said it on Twitter. I said, as someone who does not play RPGs and does not, let alone card crafting RPGs, I love this game. Like, I am really enjoying this game.
It's interesting because Aaron's bringing up a good point. The whole battle system is based on you playing cards, and some of your cards will have a cost to them based on essentially a gear system, like literal gears.
But you earn it when you use them too, which is kind of cool.
Right. Some cards will replenish your gears. Some will then use that you can then use to, and if you can use 3. So each character's color coded. So like you have a red guy, a blue guy, red, blue, and
green. There's purple.
Green.
There's a bunch
so far. If you use 3 moves in a turn from the same character, they get a bonus 4th move. And depending on their class, it changes what they do. So like red guy is attack, green guy is support, defense, and then blue.
It's really dependent upon your accessory. And your weapon too. It might be it's just your weapon. Your weapon will indicate what the bonus is. But if you're strategic with it, like with Copernica, who's more of a magic user, if you use 3 of her powers, she gets the initial one she gets the shield, but it works on everybody, which is really good to use if you're in trouble. Yeah, it's a great game. I don't know. I'm wondering if the things I really like are things that are a part of a lot of RPGs. I just don't know because I don't play a lot of them. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, now you're gonna have to go get into the 3rd Phantasy Star game on GameCube.
There we go. Yeah.
I like how you said have to. I think that's an interesting way of putting it.
I know you, so like, who's lying to themselves right now?
What do you want to hear? Because
just remember, so Phantasy Star 3, Episode 3. Card Revolution. Card was an acronym for something that I was hoping the Wikipedia would tell me.
It probably should. It's doing its job.
It just says, oh no, here it is. Compressed alternate reality data. So, I mean, we could actually, I think this is also an online game. Or was this the only one that wasn't online? Anyway, we could play this over the tunneling solution for GameCube you were talking about earlier.
We can talk about it. I think getting into more card and tabletop stuff has certainly opened me up to games that are a little more, I don't know, that lean a little more towards that. So I think like a year ago I would have been like, it looks nice, but I don't want to play it. But now I'm like, I want to play it right now.
Gotcha.
It is quite good.
So yeah, so it comes out on Switch tomorrow.
And the writing is good. And how do you feel about sort of the Banjo-Kazooie-esque like sounds that all the characters make? Not as annoying as Banjo-Kazooie, but they still do the that kind of thing.
I still play this game a lot with the sound down. And
what are you trying to say about the wonderful sound design and engineering went into it?
Since none of them are voiced, I'm gonna have to read it anyway. Like I'll read it.
Good excuse.
Yeah.
Like none of this is actually voiced, so it's like cool. I'll listen to a podcast.
But the writing is good though.
I agree.
I have to say,
I'm not disagreeing. I haven't listened to a whole lot of the sound effects and whatnot.
Understood.
Also, maybe I was like on a work call or something. No, joke. Who would do that? That would be irresponsible.
No, absolutely not.
So SteamWorld Quest, a lot of fun. Aaron, what else have you been playing?
Let me run down this list of 1,000 things. Let's see. God's Trigger, which is a top-down sort of a Hotline Miami-esque game where you play. It's one of these preposterous storylines where like the guy is an angel and the female character is like from hell and they're trying to like kill their way into heaven. It doesn't make any sense, but it's fun and it's twitchy and I'm not that good at it. I think I'll be putting a video for it tomorrow. Cause my SteamWorld Heist video, SteamWorld Quest video is not ready yet, but because I keep playing it and not recording anything because I just like playing it. But anyway, yeah, God Trigger is pretty fun. So if you like Hotline Miami, it'll probably, yeah, they have some pretty cool powers and abilities. Like you can spend some of this meter to like pre-target enemies up to like 6. So you can just hold down like the left trigger or whatever, and then just pinpoint all these enemies in the room, just walk in and just pull the button to fire. The character will just turn and just, it's almost like a dance of death. But it's
sort of like Panzer Dragoon or Rez or something like that.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or that Crimson Dragon game that nobody liked when Xbox One came out. That
one of the few remaining Xbox One exclusives.
Exactly. Everybody's favorite exclusive. So yeah, glad you mentioned it. Still playing more Yoshi's Crafted World because it's just a really good. I don't know what to play, so I'm just gonna play this thing because I just get to collect crap and it's just cute and it's just fun. I don't know, just a lot of fun. Anybody else playing Yoshi's Crafted World?
I haven't bought it yet.
I went back to play Yoshi's Woolly World on the 3DS. I have the Wii U version, but I played the 3DS version, and it's great. But the problem is, I like Crafted World a little more just because I can control like the egg with the right analog. Whereas,
yeah, that was always a problem.
In Woolly World, I have to like use the gyro. I'm like, I don't, or either have it just automatically go like this, where it just
right. You wait.
Oh,
like that was so dumb.
I can't go back. I just can't. I've been spoiled. Yeah. I just can't go back and do it. As I'm playing Jupiter and Mars, that's the dolphin game from Tigertron. If you all remember Sam Kennedy from IGN from One Up. I don't know if he's a producer on it. I don't know if he started the company or not, but he's a producer on the game. It's a lot of fun, and I started off playing it in VR, and my VR legs aren't really that long, so I've lasted about maybe 10 minutes, and was like, yeah, okay. And you can play it in non-VR. So clearly, I didn't read up on the history of the developer or the game, but someone has an affinity for Echo the Dolphin, because this is like you are one of the dolphins. I think you're Jupiter. I think you're the female dolphin, and then Mars is the male dolphin. Not that it really matters. And you're exploring and helping out sea turtles who are caught in plastic and turning off technology from the Earth dwellers or Earthlings, as they call them. Basically, the humans who are jacking up everything underwater. It's fun. I think the video went up today. I played about an hour of it. I enjoyed it. It's pretty neat. So you can echolocate to kind of map out the world to see it in more detail. And I think it's like a Metroidvania kind of thing to it, because I rescued this sea turtle's kids, and then they all swam into this cave, and then I go in, I'm like, oh, a new area. But then I was told you're not able to go down to this deep of water right now. So I have to do something in order to come back to get to that other area. So
was Echo the Dolphin a Metroidvania kind of a thing?
It was just confusing. That's what I remember.
All I remember is it's like, look, the dolphin can shoot out of the water like a missile and then fall back in. Isn't that amazing?
That did look cool.
You click at the diamonds. That's about it. Like,
this is a little more. They explain a little bit more, and I've come up to the surface, but that so far that's not like a thing you do. But you might later. I don't know. It's fun. It's very relaxing. I don't know. I dig.
Not gonna lie, when you said about like echolocation and all that jazz, I just imagine Aquaman for 64, and like I just hope it's better than that. I really hope it's better than that.
It is. It is.
Okay, good. Sweet.
What else? Ghost Giant. That's SteamWorld, the developer of SteamWorld Quest SteamWorld Games is Image and Form, correct? And then Zoink is the developer on Ghost Giant and Flipping Dead and Stick It to the Man. But they formed like a publishing company called Thunderful, correct?
Yep.
But I don't know. I think Thunderful is publishing Ghost Giant, but I don't know if they're also publishing SteamWorld Quest. I'm not sure.
That's a good question.
We'll have to answer that at a later date.
I'll go check.
But Ghost Giant is like, if you have PSVR, you have to play this game. I don't know the full story, but it's like you are a ghost giant. You look at your hands. You can do two things. You can grab stuff and you can point at things. And the first two levels, yeah, I know.
Doesn't sound compelling.
No, but okay, the first two levels are like they kind of just grow. The first level is like you do like 3 things. Second level you do like 8 things. It just and this, you know, basically like you encounter this young cat mouse like creature and he's really sad. He's scared of you. You kind of earn his trust. And then there's this backstory of like his mother. I don't know where she is. I don't know if she's sick or ill, but like there's something going on with them, and she owes a lot of money. And he goes into town to get some sunflower seeds so they can. You know, he wants to keep the farm going.
Wait, the mouse owes money?
Well, it's a world full of anthropomorphic animals.
Yeah, like
Oh, okay.
So there's debt and there's credit and all that kind of stuff. Like there's these like hipster, like beatnik-esque cats that are like on this bridge on like the 3rd or 4th stage. And you have to like figure out a way to get them off so you can proceed. And they're, you know, they're saying all these, they're trying to say all these deep things that mean nothing. Like, you know.
Wait. Like beatnik cats want to kill the mouse?
No, they don't want to kill. No, they're just standing on a bridge. They're just in the way. But the dialogue they're having is very funny because it's just like they're trying to be deep about life and society and politics, but like they're saying nothing of any value at all. But they're convincing each other that they are. But the game is like a diorama kind of like you just I don't know, like there's stuff to do. Like you solve puzzles, but you just I don't know, there's like a basketball on every level that you can like throw into a hoop, and there's just little hidden things. Like there's a hidden caterpillar and a pinwheel you can always find, and then that's on top of just figuring things out, how to get the character.
The more you
progress.
talk, the more I'm like, I can't. I'm like, are you high? I don't understand. Like, none of this sounds like it makes any sense at all. It's like, there's this cat, it's a beatnik, and it's in the way, and then you get to pick up a caterpillar, and then you throw, or you grab, and then you point at something.
Yeah, what's the problem? These are perfectly good.
Yeah, Peggy, this makes sense, right?
Yeah, this makes
Thank
sense.
you.
I mean, is it like
you'll be able to try this out at Extra Life, or maybe.
I mean, I'm curious.
I mean, just click. I put a video up for it yesterday, so I played a bunch of it yesterday.
I'll seek that out to get a better idea.
It is very fun. I let the kids play it.
It sounds like a fever dream. I
mean, basically, you are the ghost giant, and you're kind of standing in the middle of every level, and no one can see you but the main character, and you can interact with all the environment to help him figure things out, just to progress. That's the game.
Okay.
That sounds like it has the potential to be really wholesome.
It is. Like I let my kids play it; they were loving it. I had to kind of tear the headset off of them because they were like, oh, it's midnight, go to bed. I'm exaggerating, but no, they really enjoyed it. So, what else? I played some Street Fighter Exceed with the 12-year-old, and we finally learned because I was at Will's house like a week or 2 ago, and we tried to play it. So we watched this 18-minute YouTube video, and we're more confused. It's a Street Fighter card game. So we were just like, I don't know what we're supposed to do.
This is what you did at Will's house?
Will is real. I told Mike, you met him. He's real.
The person you paid to portray Will showed up on this.
Person I paid.
So
sure.
He's also a pastor, I'm told.
In his former life, yes.
So
yeah, but
he has multiple lives. So that's
no, he has one. As far as I know, I've met her as well. She's
no
very
lives,
handsome.
not wives.
Oh, lives. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, yeah, but still, like the other lives are in other states that he flies to every once in a while.
I don't know.
So Peggy, just to give some background,
Sure.
Eric keeps claiming he has this friend named Will.
Okay.
For like a year now.
Right, like
Yeah.
that we don't believe he has, even though we've 100% met this person several times.
Yeah, but did they really exist though? Like
Exactly.
that's
Peggy,
that's
like,
the
whose
questions
side are
we
you
have
on?
to
Right,
ask.
exactly, like Fiverr
Yeah.
and whatnot. Like it's
Wait.
super easy.
Wait, Tiny,
Yeah.
Tiny, did you actually meet Will actually for real?
Not in person. Like he could have just
Okay.
very elaborate.
I mean, I know he was on the show
Yeah.
and he had video, and he was visually the same person that I saw in real life.
Look, androids are getting more and more realistic each day.
Oof,
And
yeah.
I you know a little After Effects, and suddenly someone's real. Like I don't know.
Stream has those overlays.
Peggy, I thought you'd be on my side. Like It's
I am here to troll, and that is just about it. Generally, I'm here to troll Tiny, but like every once in a while, you got to do a curveball,
I appreciate your honesty. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
So anyway,
back in the 80s, G.I. Joe had synthoids. They just sort of melted when
No,
people.
what we're saying Will is a life model decoy, an LMD from Marvel. Is that what we're trying to say?
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, what I was trying to say was that I watched another 8-minute video on Street Fighter Heat, and it made a lot more sense to me. And it's really fun. It's really does kind of boil down.
At any point, did you guys actually play after watching these videos?
Well, no, I watched a video like a couple of days ago. Sat down with the 12-year-old.
I know you played with the family, but I thought you were going to play with Will.
No, we tried, but
that's the story you were saying.
Well, no, I mean, we kind of, fumbled our way through it, but now I have a better understanding of how it flows.
Gotcha.
So now the thing is to convince him to try it again, because he and his wife are like, this is, no. They were just
threw you out of the house.
Almost. So,
not
in the nicest way.
$5 an hour. So.
It's only a $5 game?
I wish.
I was more making it a fiver joke. So.
Oh.
I mean, we all needed that too. Thank you.
I was gonna say, like games like that, especially licensed, like way more than $5.
Oh no, I mean each box has 4 characters in it. Those are like 30 apiece.
Yeah, they sent Aaron home with a.
They gave me 12, and then the mat is like 30 or 40 in of itself. So you don't have to have the mat though, but the mat is kind of nice.
That's what that press badge packs.
Yeah, man. I was surprised. I was thinking because they gave me like a demo pack which has you have Ryu and Ken, so you have enough to play the game.
You can play Street Fighter 1. Gotcha.
Yeah, there's no Birdie, but we'll let it slide.
No, that's Street Fighter 0.
Birdie wasn't Street Fighter 1.
Are you serious?
I kid you not.
I don't remember that. That game was basically unplayable. I think I may have
it was awful.
One person.
Like, how do you go from having huge pressure-sensitive buttons to, like, 6 regular buttons?
Well, they did that with the later version of the first game as well.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, those are 2 different games.
Well, no, they figured out that when they encouraged people to punch a button as hard as humanly possible, it would kind of break the machine. So we need to get rid of that.
Who thought that was a good idea? It's terrible.
Well,
anyway, but the game does a good job of distilling a fighting game into a card battle. It's pretty cool. So
nice.
There you go.
I look forward to forcing you all to play some of it. It's only 1-on-1 at some point, and I know how much Tiny enjoyed playing card games at our Extra Life Marathon last year. So
right. At his own house.
I've been collecting, man. I'm good. Like,
you want to send me these videos now so that at least one of us knows the rules?
Fine.
Jeez.
Interesting.
Tough crowd. I played some Agalos. I don't know. It's AGGELEOELOS.
Good chance at it.
Yeah, it's a retro action platformer. It's on the Switch. It's fun. Played about an hour of it today. Enjoyed it. It harkens back to like an Astyanax or it says like Legend of Zelda, but it has more like more of a Wonder Boy feel than Legend of Zelda to me. But I enjoyed it. It doesn't waste any time. It just gets you right in there. I mean, you're fighting the first boss in like the first half an hour or so. They don't drag it out for too long, so I appreciate that. Played some Death Coming on the Switch. I love how a lot of games say this is better with the touchscreen, but I'm using a controller because I'm trying to capture it. Mm. It's a game where you die, but then like death hires you to like take its place or train or whatever. Basically, you're just setting off traps to kill people. So people walk under like air conditioners and you tap it twice and it falls on them, or you can make water come out of a fire hydrant and then have the electricity of electrical pole electrify it and kill people. You basically want to kill people, and that's it.
Nice.
And it does work better with a touchscreen, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Tiny, did you play Forager?
I did not. I was thinking about this last week because you sent me that code, and then I told you that they sent me a code. So.
Yeah, then they sent me another one. Well, they sent me another thing saying, hey, you can get one by clicking this thing, and I didn't click it because I already have it. But right. I started it. It's like I like it, but I don't know where like the game is. Like I'm on a little island. I'm making crap. I'm like, how do I get to the levels where I like make progress and do stuff? Because I'm just, I chop down some trees and have some berries and some peaches, which is great. I like berries and peaches. But when do I start stabbing things is what I'm really really after. So
I mean, in Animal Crossing, you don't stab things.
that's why I don't play Animal Crossing. So,
I'm
yeah.
gonna say Mr. Rossetti needs to be stabbed once in a while.
I mean, I did. What was the last one that came out? Was it?
New Leaf on 3DS.
I owned it. I tried it. I was like, I don't want to play this.
It was so good.
It's just, I don't know, the randomness of it. It's like I want to do stuff and make progress, not wait. I don't have 8 conversations like to send a letter. Like, give me what I need. Time is money.
Play for half an hour a day. Like it's not a game you put a long.
Yeah, you're right. It's like One Finger Death Punch 2. Like it's not a marathon. It's just
Right, and then you
play
go
a
and
little
join
bit.
a Reddit to find out when the bell or when your stuff is selling for the highest bells, so that you can really game the economy.
You just min-max the whole game.
Well, Animal Crossing is a really weird idea when you think about it. It's just to get you used to being in debt. That's really what this game is about. Because
Yeah.
immediately you move to this town, you have to buy a house.
Yep.
You pay off the house, and immediately the house has to be upgraded. You pay off that, immediately, like, it's just a game where you're always in debt to the 1%.
It's about adulting.
That,
I don't want to play this game. I'm done. I'll skip.
what's
Peggy,
the, what's
you're gonna
the
have to play that
name?
game. That microphone that you just
I don't have
bought,
to play anything.
because of the microphone, the story you told us, you're already playing the game.
Okay, no.
You're
You're
in
All
the
right,
game
listen.
already, Peggy.
Listen, no, I don't want to play the game. I don't want to play the game.
So,
Oh, I'm sorry. You're still playing
Always
the game.
one way out, but most people don't want to take it.
Wait, it's the one way.
Don't say another word.
He said just let it go.
I was.
What were you gonna say?
Well, no. So Animal Crossing came out my sophomore year of college. Yeah, my sophomore year of college. I owned the GameCube, but my buddy had bought the game. So during Christmas break, he's like, "Hey, can you take care of my my house and whatnot for me?" And I completely forgot.
Roaches.
And he came back.
everywhere.
It had burned to the ground.
Right, we come back. Yes, weeds everywhere, covered in roaches, and that was our experience with Animal Crossing.
Right.
And then actually, I just had an extra lifer who was telling me a story. He had lost his disc for Animal Crossing for like 5 years. They're moving and he's packing up a lot of stuff. And he found it,
Sounds like progress. Go ahead.
and he logged in. It's like, you haven't been in here in 680 months.
That's a
Oh,
lot of
months.
months.
Yeah.
Gee.
Like and everything was just very bad. People had moved away. Like it was a real sad time. So, but Animal Crossing, such a great game. Guys,
Tom
can't
Nook
wait
had been beaten to a bloody pulp. Just the normal stuff.
Tom Nook, that's his name. That always in eat the
Tom
rich.
Nook.
Uh,
I got the Tom Nook amiibo from Five Below. I
I
regret
can
nothing.
see a box Tom Nook amiibo next to a Mr. Rossetti amiibo right now.
Why does
have two
Five Below
Rossettis.
have like all of the Animal Crossing amiibos and
Oh,
nothing
they had
else?
so many.
Well, so you got to remember, and we're gonna probably
Because
make this
they
in
made too many of them.
Well, they also made that Amiibo Festival, so they released most of the Animal Crossing Amiibos in line with that game, and then
That game was a flaming pile.
and Happy Homemaker, the one that like you could make clothes and whatnot in. And
Oh,
both
that
of
was
those
the first way you could buy a normal sized new 3DS in the United States.
yes. But also they had an Amiibo reader that came out for the older 3DSs that didn't have that functionality. So like they flooded the market because they're like, oh hey, we're doing this, and then neither of those games really sold.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they made a lot of amiibo.
like I have a full set of Animal Crossing Amiibos.
Oh, I mean, well, Mike, I got a Famicom colored Rob the Robot, Princess Peach, the Mario Party version. I've seen
Nice.
Toad at Five Below.
Oh, okay. All right.
So-
I've never seen anything but a whole bunch of
Awesome,
Tom Nooks and other like dogs and cats or whatever those things are. I don't know.
They actually had a
yeah.
couple of toilets at the front of the store full of them, and I was like, you know what? I'm not buying this for
I
two
thought
reasons.
you were going to say toilet amiibos, and I was just like, sold. Instant.
That's not what I would have expected from you.
I will, if they ever release an
They have
amiibo.
a Viper Amiibo.
I don't care what brand it is. Let's say it's the toilet from Saints Row the
Sausages.
If I can get a branded Nintendo thing that looks like a toilet that I can put on my shelf, done. Unless it's like $1,000, because that's stupid.
What about $999?
No.
Sold.
Gotcha.
All right. What else?
If you can get a KK slider amiibo, you need to get a KK slider.
If I saw one, I probably would have purchased it. But
I think it only came in the 3-pack originally, which is why I own the 3-pack.
Well, Rob the
love those
Robot,
Belmonts.
Duck Hunt Dog, and Mr. Game & Watch were a 3-pack, but I know Rob the Robot was sold separately though.
Gotcha.
I'm waiting for those Belmonts to show up. I'm buying them both. I don't care.
I know you are. All right, let me just run through this. So I play some Haiku Warrior with the wife and the 9-year-old.
What kind of game is Haiku Warrior?
That is a card game.
Okay, so it is a physical game.
It is a physical game.
I was trying to figure out how you made haikus and.
Well, every card has a haiku. Like you basically, there's 6 quests and it has an expansion. But you pick a card, you read the haiku, and then it could either be like an enemy encounter. You roll the dice for it, or you're surviving like a horrible thing. Like it's a survival thing, or you're trying to hunt something down. I like it. The 9-year-old won. She was very pleased because the wife and I died, so she was still alive. So
in my head, I thought you were gonna say you read the haiku and then you turn to one of the other people playing and just punch them in the face.
That has not happened yet.
That is a violent game.
Clock them as hard as you can.
No, these are people I care about, so no, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, that's the warrior part. I gotcha.
See,
Gotcha.
exactly.
I also played a bunch of WCW NWO World Tour. I completely forgot that you could unlock like a fake Muhammad Ali character at the end of that game.
On N64.
Yep. Spent about 2 hours doing that. And once go ahead.
Like pile drive people? Like he does wrestling moves?
No, he just punches.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool then.
So he's like Eric Bischoff in Revenge because he just punches, and that's pretty much. He might have a kick, but he just punches. So I unlocked him, and the first person I fought was Hulk Hogan, and knocked him unconscious. So that's.
Then you're like, done. I did
well
what I
played.
came here to do.
I turned it off and went to bed. I was like,
Job complete.
exactly. Sleep earned. And yeah, that's it. So those are the games that I played.
Was that? Oh, so you said fake, so that was not a licensed.
Yeah, it's like Joe Bruiser or something like that. It might be like a combination of like, it could be what do you call him? I can't think. I'm drawing a blank here. Like
Either way,
like Joe Louis. I mean, it could
no
be.
Money.
It could also be like a fake Joe Louis as well. But he looks more like Muhammad Ali to me. So.
Okay, but they worked the lawyers around it so that they didn't have to pay anybody anything.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because I'm in the game, they didn't pay me. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where's my check?
You're not getting one.
Gotcha.
Done.
All right. What do we have here under things of interest to potentially discuss?
Just run through this real quick.
There's some website that'll be in the show notes where you can like make your own Game Boy games.
I saw this. I was playing around with it.
It seems pretty cool.
With the software, yeah.
There was somebody ported Mario Brothers, the original Super Mario Brothers, to the C64, and of course Nintendo came in and were like, take that down. So, if you see the gameplay, it's very impressive. That they got the scrolling and everything, like it's
nice.
Well,
they spent years on that.
Yeah, you read the story. This guy like coded this for 7 years.
Yeah,
and did a really good job.
And then got it taken away.
Right.
But it's on the internet, so
it's on the internet now.
Sort of like
so,
ASMR 2,
Yeah.
You could, or ASMR. No, it is ASMR 2.
You mean another Metroid remake?
There you go.
Right. ASMR 2. ASMR 2
is something completely different.
I was trying to figure out like they got rid of ASMR from YouTube. I'm confused.
That's
all of it, all billion videos of it.
You can't whisper into a mic anymore. So.
Yeah, the 9-year-old really likes that stuff, and it's so
I'm very
weird
confused
to me.
by it. Like I've tried, and it just doesn't.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
I haven't figured out a reason to try. As soon as I understood what the description of what it was, I was like, why would you even?
You want to have the tingles?
No, I don't. No. I've played the Super Mario Brothers port to PC Engine, and from what I played of it anyway, it looks and feels identical to the NES, but it sounds like garbage. So is that like one of the things with the C64 version? Like, can it reproduce the sound and the music just the same?
It was
because I haven't looked at it at all.
It was trying, but as it ran slower, like the sound was obviously impacted. The music played slower.
Can you get to the minus world? Because that's all that matters.
So I watched this. This was on Giant Bombs. No, you cannot get to minus world.
Well, good, because I couldn't get there either.
That's due to it's due to how it renders the sprites that you couldn't do the trick to get to minus world.
Huh.
So,
that's what they want you to believe.
Okay, apparently Jeff Gerstmann's lying to everyone.
He's in on it.
No, on the other hand, he did show that the difference between the Famicom version of Super Mario and then the US version and the minus worlds are significantly different.
Is that right?
It's
interesting.
It is in the last Unprofessional Friday they did. So,
what else?
Do we want to talk about the dumb people that are upset about Jack's ending? Because
they're
dumb people.
There always will be. So yeah.
I wanted to take a look at this ending again. Because why are people upset?
Wait. Well, let me just ask the setup question: is does every individual character have their own ending? I thought the story was. So
this is in the tower mode. So if you play through the tower as an individual character, you'll get it's like a motion comic ending. Like it's not the like.
Oh, like what Street Fighter 5 had when they launched.
Kind of like it's like they want and Aaron, you want to describe Jax's or?
Oh well, basically I haven't seen it, but
okay.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. So
yeah,
I watched all of these because I'm never going to play through the tower mode. So
I don't know the game either. So.
Yeah. So Jax, you're in the game. You're fighting against this character called Chronica. They've now introduced who controls the sands of time, and whoever wins essentially gets power over it. And Jax says, "Hey, I wanted to resolve the biggest issue that's ever faced my people," and it shows in the background, it shows a picture of the slave trade from what you'd see in like a history book. And he says, like, I tried it once, twice, I didn't get it right, but eventually I got it right so that everyone was better. And then it shows a picture of him and his family, like happily out for them, like just him, his daughter, and his wife, and like they just seem happy. And in the background, I think there's a restaurant. But like and so people have taken this to be talking about the slaughter of white people. Like YouTube is taking this in the way that you think YouTube would take it. As like this is anti-white people, and it's the dumbest shit ever.
The most ironic argument like you could ever make.
Yeah, I'm not even following the.
Not only does he not like. One. Not only does he, it's not even, he doesn't explicitly talk about slave, like it's the picture in the background that there's time, but like he's talking about, hey, he stopped essentially slavery in the world. And like he never mentions this, but these YouTubers are reading into all of this, like he led a revolution in North America and killed all the white people, and like bro, none of this, like you
I can tell just from you describing it, that's not even how he accomplished it.
None of this is what happens.
What?
None of this is what happens, but it's what in their head they think's happened.
They think it makes Jax racist.
Man.
That he stopped the institution of dehumanizing people.
That's like trying to connect the dot from A to Z and drawing like a colossal mountain in between just because.
So it's so dumb. Like I saw so many people are like, this is the dumbest shit, but also don't watch this YouTube video because don't give them the clicks.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, but literally like the YouTube, the whatever the clip or whatever the picture for the YouTube thing is like white slaughter, Jax's ending, and it's like, oh, you shut up. So MK11, yeah, it's not that like it's the dumbest. Like there are problems with MK11,
bringing out the crazies,
right?
Like, no matter which one it is, somebody's gonna be crazy about it.
Gonna be crazy.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, it's so dumb.
Here we are. I guess on a more, like a less stupid note, the whole Epic. I guess some of the employees have been talking about their experiences of working with 70 to 100 hour weeks.
Yep.
And then something about they're allowed to have unlimited time off. They just can't actually take the time off.
Right.
which flies in the face of the unlimitedness.
The unlimited time off is when you quit or get fired.
Well, no, like a lot of tech companies have gone to this, and I know other companies have too. But it's the idea, like, hey, we're not going to keep the liability of your vacation on our books, so you can have, as long as you get your work done, you can have a limited vacation, but you have to have your manager's approval, and you just never get your manager's approval.
Just a coincidence.
How weird how that system works. But it also means when you leave the company, we don't have to pay you out if you live in a state where, for example, you get your vacation out as a...
is that a right-to-work state, or is that something completely different?
I think it depends on the type of right-to-work state you live in, plus which one your company is incorporated in.
What if it's incorporated in Singapore?
So you have to have... There has to be a U.S. office.
What if it's in Delaware? Sunny, lovely Delaware.
Yo, don't. I mean, honestly, most companies are incorporated in Delaware.
Yeah, right.
You're all screwed. So welcome to the club. But
how many like banks are in Delaware?
For example,
all
my
of
company
them?
is incorporated in Virginia. And yeah, like
your favorite state.
We've changed to an unlimited vacation policy, and I'm making it work. So, but yeah, like the problem with this, and like the thing where people were told they have to work weekends, and if they didn't, they'd be fired, we already have a bad culture of how we do project management coordination.
Yes.
And then you have live games that never end. Like this is not like it used to be. You'd ship a game and then your team would take a month off or whatever, or depending on how your studio was run. Even that's a long time ago now. Yeah. Now you're putting out, not only are you doing the patch for fixing whatever was between when you went gold and when the game launches, you're now building all your content for the first 3 weeks of content and past that. Like, I mean, think about when Apex launched and people were upset a week after Apex Legends launched, there wasn't new content in the game. And that's because, and Epic's part of it, like they've set a schedule that definitely doesn't sound like it's sustainable. So, and you can't throw more bodies at it, because at some point you reach a problem with project management where more people doesn't solve the issue. Like it's not. It comes down to now coordinating how that works and breaking groups up into teams so that you are rolling how these how this development works. When you start as a smaller team, that doesn't, like, you have the person that just knows all the knowledge, and how does that move on? And there's a whole lot of things. Like, this is a messed up way for a company that is arguably one of the most successful companies in gaming right now to be like, yep, here's how we're gonna do it.
70 to 100 hours.
I mean, as far as I know, it's not that uncommon, unfortunately.
No,
and I'm assuming Dave can or Tiny rather can kind of speak a little bit more to it. But it just, like, I was Jason Schreier, I believe his name is, from Kotaku, also put out a article very recently about Anthem and all that, and like how that had a huge meta crunch and a lot of issues as we can see. But I kind of feel like, hey, bad for Schreier, because like this happens all the time. This happens so many times that like there's so many articles on so many different games. It's like, yeah, these guys ran 95-hour weeks or something like that, and it's always in the range of like 80 and 100, and it's just insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the whole unionizing thing should be a thing, but who knows if that's going to work.
It's hard to get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at what happened with Grand Theft or with Red Dead Redemption, and they're like, oh, not everyone worked 100 hours. And it wasn't
the people we locked in this conference room.
It wasn't it wasn't forced. It was just coerced. So
it was
like,
voluntold.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's those kind of discussions of, if someone doesn't feel they're empowered to be able to speak up or go against it, then at no point is like you making it optional really optional.
Right.
So it's those kind of issues that like we look at, and to see leaders in the industry facing this. It's troubling. Like it's difficult because on the other hand, like I say all this, and I don't know, my average work week is 60 hours a week, and I'm dumb for doing that, but that's a choice I make. So, yeah. So.
Yeah, that's when I do the math. I'm like, those. I would like to try to avoid that kind of hours per week. It's not going to happen all the time, but yeah.
And
if I can avoid it, that's my goal.
And I think that's the right way. I'm not going
to avoid it if you can.
It'd be great if you always avoid it. And like you hear, there are who made Celeste. They're like, hey, we only worked 40 hours a week. And even HB, when I was up in Canada, they were like, 5 o'clock comes, everyone stops working. Like there is no, like I would want to stay late, and they'd be like, no, that's not how we work here. But
yeah, but how did I got? I mean, I
would hit crunch too. So like, it was a weird double standard. That like, cool, then let me put in the hours, an extra hour here now, so that we can reduce it later. But
yeah, like there's
the crunch was inevitable.
There's an anecdote that I'm not even going to bother to tell because it's irrelevant. But like, I have experienced situations where it's just like, I am trying to put in extra time now because I know it's necessary. If you're telling me I have to stop, and then when we return and you yell at me because I'm not done, it's
it's going to be
why
my fault.
Did you not let me finish my work?
Yeah.
And the argument back specifically to me, since I was a project coordinator, would be like, well, you should build up your project to reflect that, which is fine. Like it's not a bad critique, but then we need to have a realistic. We need to working on sports games and licensed games. There is a limited window.
Oh yeah.
Like you have to have the basketball game out at this point. You have to have the golf game out at this point. So like time doesn't magically happen more. We had a game go into CERT. I was not on this game. I was just helping the other coordinator. We had a game go into CERT, and they get feedback from Microsoft and Sony, and like, yo, bug fixing and whatnot is 100% part of your crunch time, because you don't know when you're going to get that data back. So like our producer on that game would play Contra 4 because that's how he would relax on the DS.
That's not a relaxing game.
It's not a relaxing game at all.
Over the middle of the screens.
Exactly. I remember that as just
a great
thing.
game. But not relaxing.
So I remember that as a thing. But like those kind of like, this was how, and there's also a Wii game that we did. The Wii Cert was a whole different thing. Anyway, I mean, there's a balancing act. There's always going to be people that want to work more, but it has to be 100% voluntary. It can't be from a position of power, because even as the person, if you're the person asking, if someone is intimidated or doesn't feel like they are in a position to be able to say no, then at that point it's coerced. Like it's not voluntary. So a good work-life balance is always important, but on the other hand, there is times where work has to get done. Even in my current job, like there are times where we've had to stay, and like some of it is a unique situation because we're in a 24/7 operation. So like someone's always trying to hack something. So that's part of we understand that coming in, but a lot of states don't have protections for IT and related job fields because of how that works, and how like, oh, at 3 a.m. when the server goes down, someone has to support this. It can't wait till regular core business hours again, because core business hours for North America isn't the same as core business hours for Australia or Asia or Eastern Europe or whatever.
So this actually kind of like in a only semi-related field, but this is something that actually happened to me in real life with my job. The way DOT handles truck driving, it is so regulated and regimented that I had a truck driver who was 50 feet away from our building who had to turn off his vehicle for a half an hour.
He had exceeded his time for that.
He couldn't even drive the necessary feet to get to the door so we could unload the product. It was like, wow. I get it. I get how it was designed to get here to protect you, but we're all in agreement. The driver, me, and everything. No one wants this scenario because all he has to do, he doesn't have to do the work to unload. He just has to get
park
through the door 50 feet away. I'm not walking an extra 50 feet with every one of these extraordinarily heavy things. Like so we just waited it out.
And understand, like, I mean, but that's
got his lunch at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But
that's something else, man. I gotta say.
Yeah,
wow.
That's a use case that falls on, like, I have to imagine that's an edge case. Like,
well, it is, but it's just
these
when you
rules.
have hard and fast rules that completely ignore common sense because they're mandated by machines. It's a computer system that's not allowing him to do this.
Well, right, but so I guess this is where I disagree on the fast part, because if you bend on 50 feet and then the next time it's 100 feet, and then
it's the slippery slope argument,
right? It's a question of how like, if you have this so that everyone follows this specific rule set, that's what you can audit and hold people accountable to. And like it doesn't matter the circumstances, because for the safety commission or whichever union,
you take away an individual's right to decide what is or isn't safe.
Well, right, but so to that statement, I would say you don't take away an individual's right to decide. You are maintaining a standard for the company that the individual can't make a decision that endangers the company's insurance liability. Because if they made that decision, and let's say he was impaired, like, it doesn't matter, it's 50 feet, he still gets in an accident and he violated the OSHA
why
rules
does
or whatever.
Waiting 30 minutes make him not impaired now?
Maybe he was playing a Virtual Boy and now he has to wait the 30 minutes for him to have depth perception again.
All right.
I don't
care. I'm just saying.
I don't know why 30 minutes is the rule behind it, but I am going to say, like, they make this so that it applies to everyone, so it's standard and repeatable, which is what you want a process to be. Because again, if you give everyone the ability to flex on the said process, then how do you ever hold someone accountable?
Yeah, you can't trust anybody because
but you can't hold them accountable, because if you say, like, oh, but it's at your discretion, well, then at that point,
yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Why do you have the standard? Like, if I get to make a choice, it's a suggestion at that point. It's not a service level agreement. It's a suggestion that came in a box. So, like, it's weird. Like, it's that kind of stuff that you have to look at. But on the other hand, I want to get to this last one because I want to understand why it says bye, Dave. Like, am I leaving? Am I going somewhere?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what you doing?
Is this a death? Like, am I?
This isn't Tiny. This is Game
Sack Day.
Singular entity.
Gotcha. Why is he leaving? I guess it's been on time with his family.
Like an hour away. Like, I read the thing. Like, I thought he lived across the street.
Yeah, I thought he lived close, like 20 minutes, half an hour.
Like, no, he lives an hour away, and then his job's an hour away from that. Like, yeah, bro, that's a lot of.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
a commitment. So.
No, I mean, I don't. It's just
they've been friends for a long time too. So
right. So it's kind of like it's sort of a a melancholy sort of moment to me. It's just like, well, whatever. It kind of sucks. I mean, good for him for making a good life decision, I think.
True.
Right. But I don't know what Game Sack is gonna be like with one guy
with just Joe.
It's like I don't know.
I mean,
he didn't seem worried about it when they made like.
No, he was almost just like, great, I can get my videos out faster now.
But I think that might speak to. Dave brought some stuff, and like, he's definitely the Nintendo fan of that group.
Yeah.
I
But
think Joe did all the work.
Whenever you saw like,
that's what it sounds like, yeah.
Whenever you saw like the exploded view of a console or whatnot, like, that seems like it's 100% Joe doing.
Oh,
that's all.
110. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I guess we're gonna hear a lot more about Sega stuff. So
I mean, is there a possibility of another partner coming in? Because I know, like, Game Grumps, for example, had a partner change.
He did a question and answer thing, and he basically said that's not. I mean, maybe someday, but
it would be unfair to them to try to fit into Dave's shoes.
Yeah, for right now, it's just going to be him.
It was
The only concession is the to just playing games randomly and filming it is done.
Yeah, playing with sacks or whatever. So.
Yeah. Wait a minute. So playing with sacks is affected, but not the regular show?
Right. No, he seems he's going to keep a schedule for the regular show.
Oh, well, I enjoy that. I pay more attention to those than playing with sacks anyway.
Oh yeah, I skip all the playing with sacks.
Why are we even talking
unless
about
it's a
this?
game like when they did Revenge of Death Adder, it's just like, why didn't that game ever come out any other way anywhere? You know, it's like it's arcade. If you own the original board or you emulate it, that's it. There's no other way of playing that game.
Why didn't the Punisher come out for anything else?
Well, licensing, I imagine.
Wait, we mean other than for arcade and Sega?
Was it just the arcade?
No, the Sega Genesis had a version.
Yeah, but that was crap. I mean, I'm talking about like the arcade version.
I mean, it's a translation of the arcade version that was on Sega.
Yeah, that's true. All right,
the side scroller that had Nick Fury as your second player.
Yeah.
That's totally on Genesis. So, I'm gonna throw one thing real quick in. If you're not following Mike J Micah on Twitter,
I am.
He put up some really cool stuff talking about Game Boy Advance development that he did, years back. How they made a Charlotte's Web game, but they built it as Pigs of Persia, a Prince of Persia based game, which makes me want to go find the Charlotte Web GBA game to go find this out. And then
Wario
also
just put up the Mario Kart Tour Android beta sign up link. So.
Is up there? Okay.
Yeah.
Mike also talked about Lilo and Stitch, but they made it as a Metal Slug game, which I've played that game, and it is tough at points. So I don't know. Mike Micah has some fun stuff that he'll talk about. Like,
remember we had Mike Micah on the show many years ago.
We did. I talk to him every once in a while because I go and beg him for codes for different things.
We should have him back on the show.
Like, Mike, can you help me here? So anyway, but yeah. So let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's be done.
All right. Peggy, shout outs, plugs, hair plugs, all those good things.
Of course. So if you want to watch some more Overwatch stuff, there is Contenders Korea, which is in early in the morning, but the VODs are on Overwatch Contenders' Twitch. For the first time since I think July 22nd, 2017, a team has finally lost. Runaway had a winning streak since July 2017, and they lost literally this morning for the first time since then. Yeah, it was something. So the playoffs are coming up for that. Open Div playoffs are this weekend or last weekend, depending on when you're listening to this. We have a bunch of tier 2, tier 3 Overwatch coming up. Please support the scene. It's awesome. It's great. And you're seeing some really great plays coming out of there. And if you want to see some more of the stuff that I do, I'm on Twitter at MoreIOW, MOIRAIOW. I usually tweet about observing in Overwatch, but sometimes I tweet about dumb stuff. So, you get a mix. It really depends on the night. So by all means, support the tier 2 Overwatch scene and support. Just support it. Please support it.
Okay, we'll make sure we have all your links and everything in the show notes. And
of course.
Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
It's been a pleasure. And I will play Overwatch every day for at least 4 hours.
You know what? That's more than what I do. So go for it.
I'll take that. Get good.
Funnily enough, by the way, one of our tournaments that are coming up for Elo Hell Esports is Get Good. It's literally called Get Good. So, sign up for that if you want. I don't know. There was a segue. I had to take it.
I've never been good before. I don't know. Somebody else say
have
something.
But, I don't need to be good to observe. I'm good.
Mike, what about you, bro?
That makes me feel like
you probably are good, though.
Start a group called Get Better or something stupid.
Improve, dummy. I don't know.
Get Festus.
Yeah, I like that. Improve, dummy.
Improve, dummy. Nice.
If I ever become a game publisher, that's going to be the name of my game.
Perfect.
And I know I can say that because 100% I will never publish anything. So when 5 years down the line, somebody says, "What was the name of it?" I don't know. It doesn't matter.
From Assault Suit Games.
So, no, I can't. No, if I try that, I will get sued. There is no way. That is not happening. I encourage anyone who is eligible to donate blood, and anyone who has any pets, please have them spayed or neutered professionally. Don't do that at home.
Yeah.
Tiny, what do you got?
Hey, it's the end of April, so you should have already signed up for your extra-life.org.
I knew you were going to say that.
Are you trying to just accelerate the calendar? It's only the 24th, my man.
Right, but by the time this goes up.
Oh, you're saying Aaron can't get this out by Tuesday?
I mean, if it goes up Monday, it's the 29th of April. Seems pretty close to the end. Anyway.
Okay, fair enough.
Not wrong.
So anyway, you should go to extra-life.org. Sign up and choose your local hospital and play some games and raise some money for your local kids. I will also be at Tattooed Mom on the 5th. Or no, the 3rd.
Wait, what?
Tattooed Mom is a
the Rusty Barnacle. What?
Yeah, it is a bar and art exhibit. They're doing a video game art show, and we will have a gameplay station and whatnot. I'm talking about Extra Life on the 3rd.
And Tiny will be
Center City,
doing
Philadelphia.
Extra Life themed tattoos. With equipment he isn't checked out on.
There is nothing in my life that I've ever loved enough that it needs to be on my body.
To be clear about this, you're taking Extra Life to a bar.
I mean, I'm not taking Extra Life to a bar. We have been invited out to an art exhibit that happens to have a building that has a bar attached to it.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to make that same argument, Too Many Games also has a bar.
Okay. All right.
So,
but Too Many Games isn't being held at some place called the Tattoo Mama or whatever you said.
Tattooed Mom.
Too Many Games has a burlesque show.
Right.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Touche.
let's not get too judgy here. So anyway, we're there. It's only a one-night thing, so we're there the 3rd of May.
A one-night stand. What?
Play some games. One-night event, as I said. Come out, play some games. Sign up for Extra Life. Raise some money. Also, Team Gameenthus. You can donate to your favorite Gameenthus personality by going to extra-life.org/team/game.
How about donate randomly to a Gameenthus?
I was gonna say we just crossed our first $1,000 for this year.
Nice.
That's what's up.
Only $11,000 more to go. So
no pressure.
No pressure.
None whatsoever.
And like right now we're ranked 105 for teams out of I don't know how many teams. But
we're say better than 50% at this stage in the year. Have 0.
Oh, easy. Like there's probably about 2,000 teams.
You all look even clearer right now, which is ironic.
So again, all of this is saying go to extra-life.org, check that out. Also, it's St. Jude Play is doing their kickoff event this weekend, so check that out too. So and aside from that, Aaron, what do you got?
Peggy, thank you once again for
of course
listening to us. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We do like to talk. I hope that Tiny had warned you,
for sure.
Brevity is not our thing, fortunately. Shout out to Lance and Slider Wave. Lance was selling a whole bunch of NES games and things, and
I saw that.
Yeah, and Slider Wave and I we pounced on it, and we're all the better for it. I'm a foot taller because of it. Shout out to people who jumped into the chat. We always appreciate it. People watching on stream. Thank you very much. And to my co-host, my lovely co-host, Tiny and Mike. Thank you both. Oh, okay.
That's an interesting compliment, but appreciate it.
Just take it, man. Just take it. No, it's not happening again. Just take it.
I'm still dwelling about these games for sale that I missed earlier somehow.
Oh, it was 57 NES games and NES, a Zapper.
He also put up.
Oh, I don't need any of that.
He also put up a bunch of not a bunch.
There was some PS1 games.
PS1 and Dreamcast games.
I didn't see the Dreamcast games.
They were in the same picture as the PS1 games. I think it was like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was on Dreamcast.
Oh.
I don't know if there was actually multiple. There might not have been multiple Dreamcast games. There was
because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was not on PS1, was it?
Correct. It was.
So because there was other PS1 games, I just
you don't want to play any of those versus games on PS1.
No, I'm sure I don't. I'm sure I have burned copies somewhere around. Did I say that out loud?
They removed the tag team feature of all of it.
They couldn't handle it.
One.
Couldn't handle it.
Nope.
If you want to leave us feedback, you can leave us a voicemail at 202-573-7686. You can always email us at tiny@gameenthus.com, saltsuit@gameenthus.com, or Aaron@gameenthus.com, or podcast@gameenthus.com. And coming soon, Peggy@gameenthus.com.
Oh,
This is news to all of us.
this news to
just
me.
broke.
Yeah. All right.
I think that's about it.
Did
Peggy's
we successfully save the voicemail line?
I believe we did.
Okay, great, perfect.
Although the outgoing message is no longer the outgoing message, but I'll take a look at that this weekend.
Where's the fun in that?
I'll hit it with a wrench and see what happens.
Mike, you can also buy an extremely great PlayStation 1 with 2 memory cards and 3 controllers.
No, don't want
2
any
plus
of that.
3 is 5.
And 2 of those controllers
Everywhere.
are the pre-DualShock controllers.
I have at least one of them still.
All right.
If it was U.S. TurboGrafx games, I would take a look at it.
Okay. Well, now it is after midnight. So, Peggy, any final words before we get out of here?
No, just thank you guys for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Cool.
I think those are final words. I gotta
Yeah,
say.
those are. And
That-
so are these. And no.